G'day everyone, and welcome to the inaugural GT Super Series brought to you by PERMOBIL. We are here for a great night of racing between 4 different leagues for some really good bragging rights. Should be quite interesting here. Tonight commentating with me is Dale Teeks for Race 1.
Yeah, hey Dragon, hey everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I think it's going to be an awesome night and a really big showcase for Australia and New Zealand sim racing. I think it's going to be awesome to see everyone on track, and I think it's going to be an exciting night, so strap in and enjoy the show.
Absolutely, and on the visuals here tonight we have Captain Lowside.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Dragon. It's fantastic to be here on the first event of the GT Super Series. Be really interesting to see how the first Interclub Challenge goes, and who's going to come out on top. Only time will tell.
Absolutely, and representing the stewards here for tonight, we have Dodgy86.
Yeah, thanks, Dragon. So chuffed for tonight, man. This is going to be a huge night. Expecting big things out of all the drivers in here. Hopefully, not big dings. Not expecting a busy night in Stewards, but you never know. But I am up for some super racing, so let's get it on.
Absolutely. And before we get into qualifying for race 1, we have a special message from a guest.
Hi guys, Liam Wilson here, Red Bull Junior driver. I just wanted to wish all the teams and drivers good luck for tonight's PERMOBIL GT Super Series. Most importantly, thanks to PERMOBIL for supporting the events, and obviously Wheels Wheel Racing for creating it. Good luck everybody, hope it goes well.
There you go. So some wonderful words from Liam Lawson there, Red Bull Junior driver. How cool is that to have him give a little feature in the first ever GT Super Series there? Yeah, really awesome of him. And on that note, I think I'll open up the track and we will get the hot lap qualifying for tonight started.
Video playing, so at least people know what it is. Wonderful, thanks Dal. And we're back.
There we go. So, track has been open for qualifying, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous as we see all the cars coming out onto track here. And we may as well go for a nice little walk through the field to familiarise yourself with who the drivers will be for each team tonight. So going from the top here, we have PLE Goat representing Wheel to Wheel, followed by Secca's 888 also representing Wheel to Wheel.
Yeah, following him is Flossie, another Wheel to Wheel member. Diswood in Track Stars.
Yep, we have Geesh for Sector 1, currently rolling around in 5th, followed by Adam, also from Sector 1.
Next one for Trailblazers is Colin T24 and John 27 TCT from Trackstars.
Yes, following John we have TX3 GTR rounding out the Sector 1 lineup and NWR Nico for Trailblazers.
And then we have Trackstars again. We've got GC12 Curry and also Smashing Apex just sitting in the pits at the moment. Guess he's just buying some time and getting some clean air.
Yeah, looking like it. Maybe just, hanging about there as we undergo qualifying for this wonderful race around Maggiore West. So first lap has begun. Goat now on his flyer. Smashing Apex is going to be coming out of the pits right in the middle of the pack here. I think he's chosen a little bit of a gap though, so it should be okay. There you go, he's actually picked the gap beautifully there between the wheel-to-wheel trio and the rest of the drivers. So we have Goat already down onto the back straight in the Peugeot RCZ. Coming up to the big banked corner. Quite a tricky one here. Heavy on the brakes. Use that camber to get you in. Oh, he's had a rough run. Couple of tyres out onto the dirt on the exit there. And now up the hill.
It's really quite an uphill stretch through this. Fast sweeping and difficult to nail correctly, and it really affects your lap time overall. Seems Goat's got his way through there pretty cleanly though, and this double right-hander is actually quite technical as well. This little track certainly throws up a lot of curveballs.
That it absolutely does. Coming now into the final corner for the track. See how he goes. Can he nail it? Plenty of curb on the inside there, running it out. And now a straight line to the finish for our first qualifying time of GT Super Series. It is going to be a 21.14, yes.
21.5 for Secca's. Flossie with a half-second penalty crossing the line there. Well, I think they're going to be wanting probably mid-20s, mid to high 20s. It might be the pole time in the end, although full tanker might be a little bit more difficult and also that extra pressure, but we'll see if anyone else can lay down the gauntlet there. Distinct Geesh coming across. He hits a 21.2 as well. He's moved up into second spot. Adams 21.6 in fourth.
Diswood now coming to the line for Track Stars. Not had a good one. 25.2.
Collins got a 22.6 in sixth. Oh, John T. Yep, 21.394. Very close times here. I love how they're all lining up between 2 and 3.
21.0 there from TX3 GTR. We have one car left to finish the lap before we go. It is Smashing Apex coming on through the uphill section now. 21.0 to beat there. So GTR definitely throwing his name out there as the one to watch. Starting it all off. Rounding this double right-hander. Oh, a bit wide of the apex there. Gets on the power nicely through the left and the lead up to the final corner. We'll see what he can do here. He's a little wide again. Had to blip the throttle a couple of times, but on the approach to the line is 19, 20, 21. A 22.6, good enough for 9th place there from Smashing Apex. So we have, from the front, TX3 GTR, Goat on the front row also, Jeesh and John making up row 2, Seckers and Atom making up the 3rd row, Curry and Nico making up the 4th, Smashing Apex and Colin making up the 5th row, and on the back row of the grid we have Diswood and it's Flossie. So, should be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how everyone approaches this. Qualifying definitely important around here. There's not a lot of overtaking spots, but it is going to be a tyre race too, so I'm expecting a no-stop on softs, although there will likely be a handful of cars finishing the race with basically no rear left tyre, so there's going to be a lot of management, probably a lot of games being played as well. The mix of trying to save tyres, but also dealing with the aero wash if you are just sticking behind somebody. It can be quite difficult to stay with somebody through the corners with the aero wash on these cars. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what games people are playing out there and kind of the approach everyone takes to get to the end of it.
Here we go. On the starting grid now, I reckon we jump on with, go Jeesh in 3rd, I think. Will be a good little view here. See if he can get a good jump off the start line to join TX3 GTR at the front. 5 lights. And we're away.
Seckers nailed that launch.
Jeesh has bogged down a little bit as well, so Seckers straight up into 3rd. John looking half a look around the outside. Jeesh hanging around the outside of Seckers.
Curry's gone round. There's a bit of contact in the back there. Curry's gone round at turn 1.
It's no good there. Looks like mostly everyone else is sorted into single file as they're away at the front. So an almost drama-free first sector there. But unfortunate for Curry, a little bit of an over-rotation. Not sure if there was contact on that one or not. But 3 seconds to make up to catch the pack again. Everyone else still nice and close as we come through the bank for the first time of asking. And, Collins run a little wide in 8th now. Diswood looking around the outside as we come up the hill. Blip of the throttle from Colin opens the door for Flossie, who had a nice run coming up the hill.
Yeah, I think Flossie just slightly backed out there. It just wasn't going to get far enough up.
Colin wide again. Flossie now completely alongside as we move into the left. So Colin having a little bit of trouble coming to terms with the car this time around. And Flossie already up from 12th position to 8th in lap 1. And we'll go back to the front of the field to check in with the rest of our drivers here as we come back into turn 1 for the second time of asking. Nice and tight through the right-hander there on the power early. Adams in danger of dropping off that pack a little bit here as well. 0.6 of a second behind, and they've got a better run, so interesting to see how much that slipstream is going to take effect here as we run up to the big banky boy.
I think the slip's working for him, although he's losing to Distinct. He's gaining on TX3 and he's pulling away from John, so I think he's in a pretty decent spot in that little pocket there.
He's done well under braking there to pull in a bit of time on Jeesh and pull a bit of time away from John down there in 6th, now down to 0.8 of a second with Diswood behind him. So teammate behind, not too much to worry about the fight. And that's something I'm very excited to see here tonight is what kind of teamwork goes on. You know, we've got Goat and Seckers. Oh, Seckers running a little wide there, as I mentioned him. I believe Adam got a little bit loose on the same curve just behind him. Seeing if any teamwork comes into it from those two. And then, of course, we've got Geesh and Adam in 4th and 5th. You know, some teammates together again. Diswood and John for Track Stars. So there's a couple of pairings around there that could have a bit of an impact.
This battle
Yeah,
for
at
the
the moment
podium
they're
is
just...
really... Sorry, Dale, this battle for the podium is actually really heating up between Seckers, Geesh and Adam. They're actually only within a few tenths of each other.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I don't know how hard he's going to push in these early laps. I don't know if he's maybe just trying to force a bit of a mistake, or maybe try and force Seckers to use up a bit more tyre wear there and then make a move towards the kind of mid to the end of the race there. I think they're all doing pretty similar speed overall, so I don't think there's a massive discrepancy there, so I don't think there's a massive need to get ahead right now and make a run for it.
Geesh right underneath that rear wing of Seckers, though, for that final podium spot. The Sector 1 boys looking in strong form early on here. I believe they have a bit of history with Maggie West, as well, as they were saying in the manufacturer draft stream, that it's a bit of a second home for those guys, so expecting a strong showing from them here.
Yeah, as Gim said, Distinct Geesh is definitely looking a bit racy out there. There's just not a lot of overtaking opportunities. He really needs to get the run down the back straight, get a move done on the big banky. But as shown, he got the run up the hill, but he did have to lift a little bit in that aero wash. So you really got to pick your timing and get the run at the right time. So really just working the back of Seckers over and just trying to look for that weak spot and try and force that mistake.
Certainly is. Something that I've noticed just really quickly throughout the top 5 is Geesh does have the worst tyres out of all 5. Over so slightly, it's not a massive difference, but could be quite big in, another 4 or 5 laps' time.
Yeah, it's a lot. Most of the problem's going to be on the rear left, but I'm also noticing that front left is also getting worked over time, which... I think it's just that trying to get that nose up on the inside of Seckers there and really trying to make it work, though. I think they're starting to drop off a little bit off of Goat and TX3 at the front. So I think, maybe he's trying to make the time now and try and join the party for the top 2.
You know, I really appreciate the disparity between the lines through the big banky boy. We saw just then between Geesh and Seckers, narrow entry, wide exit versus wide entry, narrow exit. And it can really show that any little mistake from either driver can be the difference between getting an overtake done or even just holding position. So it's really interesting to see the differences between the drivers and just see where they try and pick up time or what works for them.
Yeah, gentlemen, I'd love to bring our eyes down to 10th place right now. So Curry has made up the time and actually passed Smashing Apex to get out of 12th. Now around the outside, coming to the inside of Nico, drops back a bit there. An incredible recovery drive so far for Curry, and I think he could be a dark horse in the next couple of races. This showing not quite, showing his ability for everyone. So... he's definitely got some really nice pace to have been able to catch Apex and Nico so quickly.
Yeah, he's going just too far back to make the move into the big banky, though. Pulls out of it, shows the nose, pulls out of it, see if he can get the run up the hill instead. But yeah, as you said, definitely good pace. He's showing really good times at the moment and just a bit unfortunate on that one. I think it was just a bit of nose to tail congestion at turn 1 and just lucked out of it, unfortunately.
He's got a run coming into the double right, but got a little bit loose out onto the grass there.
Used up all the track and some.
Yeah, definitely. Nico a little wide, feeling a bit of pressure from Curry here as well. Another chance. Nico with a penalty now as well. Barely leaving Curry the room. Curry making sure he doesn't make contact with Nico. That's going to open the door for Apex coming into turn 1 now.
Oh yeah, Apex with a great run, at least on Curry. Nico's obviously going to suffer with that half a second penalty down the back straight with the automatic burn zone is actually quite harsh in Gran Turismo, so half a second would probably end up being, what, 1.2 maybe by the time you're at the end of the straight?
Yeah, definitely will put Nico into last place. Oh, Curry's bit of grass again, having a bit of a rough time, maybe looking for an opening where it's not there. I didn't quite see how that one came about. There's the penalty for Nico, staying in position. Apex going on by, see if Curry can make the dive up the inside. Beautifully done under brakes there from Curry. Oh, he's gotten loose on exit though. Here comes Nico to take that position back, so fighting for not last place is turning out to be quite the exciting place.
It can be as fierce as fighting for first in my eyes. The wooden spoon is sometimes fabled and sometimes absolutely not wanted. So these guys are going hammer and tong to not award themselves the last place points. It's really great to see.
Just a random update in the mid-pack here. Diswood's got Flossie all over the back of him. Flossie hit purple at that second sector there too. So he's on a bit of a fly right now. He may make a move here on the outside into turn 1. That'll give him the inside run for turn 2 and 3, but we'll see if he can just pull up and alongside enough. He just didn't quite get the nose in there, but definitely showing the pace right there and putting the pressure on Diswood at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely a good fight from both these gentlemen. John is actually just ahead of this pack, is gaining on that top 5 as well.
Yeah, Goat TX3, they're pulling out now. They're gained about another 3 to 5 tenths in the last lap or two. Sekus is dropping off a little bit, but still keeping distinct Geesh behind him at the moment. And you can see in the tyre where he's really looking after those tyres that little bit better, and that'll serve him well in these last few laps. Similar to Goat and TX3 as well.
Yeah, Flossie has just made his way up the inside of Diswood at the bank as well. Woody tried to hold the pace around the outside and dipped a couple of tyres in the sand, so really compromised his run out of it. Flossie takes 7th place.
Now I'm going to see if I can
3
bring
seconds
up
up to John could be tricky there.
Just caught the replay of Flossie diving down the inside and being able to hold off the overtake or the over-under. And yeah, Flossie with the overtake into 7th. Great to see.
Got a great camera angle supplied by Gran Turismo there as well. That really far shot of the big banked corner as they come into it. But I think now we take our focus back up to that battle for 3rd and keep half an eye on that battle for 1st, as well, as that's where the congestion is throughout these drivers. And as Dale said, Geesh, really heavy left tyre wear compared to everyone else, so could be suffering. Might even end up holding up Adam the further they go into this race. So I think Geesh is in danger of running out of tyre here. Could lose that spot to Adam and possibly John down the line. But top 5 now becoming top 6 as well, so
yeah, joins from the party. Flossie down in 7th. He's dipped 2 tyres in the dirt there too, so he's got Diswood right over the back of him now, about to make a move. Just within 2 tenths now. He may not get enough of a run up the hill, but definitely the pressure's still there from those two. So there's going to be a good battle over the last 3 laps between them as well.
yeah, Flossie with the better tyres as well. Just he pulls a little bit of time through the corners, but you can see he's still absolutely pushing that car as well. Oh, Seconds is wide in the last corner. So Seconds getting a little bit wide through there. He's losing quite a bit of time to Geesh now. That's really the place where he needs to capitalise on having the better tyres on Geesh as well. Oh, a little bit of sideways action there from Geesh. And John right up on the back of Adam now. So this turned into a 4-car battle for the final spot of the podium. Can Sekas hold off the Sector 1 guys, and can John come out of nowhere here from the back?
This midfield has really, moved up and starting to fight for the podium. So Geesh and obviously Sekas.
Sekas has to go defensive here, taking the inside line here, forcing distinct Geesh all around the outside. Can he get the job done?
Oh, he's on the dirt.
Oh, that's so brave and so close to pulling it off too. Just a couple of wheels in the dirt slows your exit, and then just, it really opens the door for Sekas to defend and hold third.
Yeah, I think
also opens up for Adam to make the run up the hill too.
Lakatar on the left-hand side there really cost him with the grip on that banked corner.
Yeah, I think he's going to lose that tyre very shortly. There's only a sliver left on the rear left, and the front left is also looking pretty much just as bad. Definitely asking a lot of that left-hand tyre around here. So we'll see how he can hold on, and hopefully he can still hold on and keep John and Flossie behind him.
Yeah, Sekka's here with 0.7 of a second now, so building that gap out to Geesh, and Geesh getting loose through this corner again. Adam looking for the better exit. Whoa, he's gotten very loose there as well. And there goes John up the inside, a little bit of contact made, but he is there now. Doesn't look like he's got the run down the straight. Tucks back in behind Adam, so every time Adam looks like he's a chance at getting past Geesh, here comes John. And going half defensive, Adam now moving to the inside of the track as John looks to go past into the big banked corner, under brakes, they're right there, he's got the nose in front for a second, a little bit of contact made, and John is out on the dirt.
TX3, something's happened to TX3. Can we get a replay? Can you hit replay and do TX and go to fourth spot TX3? He's all the way down to fourth now.
He's got no rear left tyre. No rear left tyre on GTR. Goat was pushing him.
He has burned his rear left tyre. It's just come up with telemetry, and he
Adam's
went
just
wide
gotten by as well
on the exit of the Big Bakey Boy, and has unfortunately lost a handful of positions.
Yep, GTR really struggling. He lost that spot to Geesh. Adam got by him in the double right. Now he's got John right behind him.
Goat's lost his tyre too.
2.3 seconds clear. Sekka still has the rear left handy. Adam still has it ever so slightly, and so does John. Everyone from 8th upwards has lost that rear left tyre, except for Sekka's, Adam, and John, which should be going probably by the...
Big Banky. It'll be gone. Big Banky up
seemingly
the
on
hill.
the exit as well.
So, Dragon, you cut out for a second there, but yeah, we fully agree that the tyres are not going to last until, obviously, the end of the race, but Goat just has to manage these for the next couple of corners. Same with the rest of the field, really. Top 8, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even with GTR losing that lead, it's still a strong showing so far for a Sector 1 with third, fourth,
Seconds with a big slide. Adam with
Everyone
a big slide
getting
as well. It's bringing Geesh
John
back
had a
into
great
it,
run on GTR there.
Geesh is absolutely driving brilliantly with no left tyres here. He has managed to hold on with no front left, no rear left. He is showing great car control out there. He's still holding on to third, putting a lot of pressure on Sex here in these last few corners. This is amazing driving out of him. I think that's just insane to be able to control that way.
I'm going to jump back up to
He's controlling a slide there. Yep, Goat now rounding the last corner, keeping half an eye on that Sekka's battle. Goat is going to take the checkered flag for race 1 to hold him off. Well done for Goat there. Sekka's second, Geesh third, Adam 4th, GTR 5th, John 6th, Flossie up to 7th, Woody takes 8th, Colin in 9th. Apex is going to take 10th place with a 2-second gap back to Curry, who is going to come home in 11th. Nico there with some dramas towards the end, 6.5 seconds back off of Curry, but that was a hot fight for about 9 laps there between those three, so... Wheel to Wheel takes first, second, and Sector 1 coming in third there, rounding out the podium.
Shout out to Womble in the chat there. S1 isn't winning, this is rigged. Love the chat, it's blowing up at the moment. It's awesome to see so many different names in here tonight. Awesome to see so many people viewing it right now. This is amazing night. But a great race from everyone out there. It was strong field there. Everyone had a great race, I think.
Quite a bit of tyre saving having to go down there as well, so that was very interesting. A lot of car control shown, especially by Geesh, to hold that together. We saw, I kept jumping on with him, and I saw him losing the rear end from about lap 4 onwards, so the fact that he held that together for a top finish is credit to him.
Yeah, definitely. That was very impressive. No left-hand side tyres on either fronts or rears, and to keep the pressure on Sex at the end there and almost get that second spot, that was amazing car control. Brilliant showing from everyone out there. That was awesome for race 1.
That it was. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have a video package to show you while we organise race 2. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady. I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old-fashioned.
What I am not
is the same.
But none of us are.
We are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
dog walking,
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
let's champion the things that set us apart.
because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
Might have enough, but Apex is pulling him in quickly. Oh, it's bloody close. Oh, is that a dead heat? I think we've got a dead heat.
this is going to work out the wheelie again.
Oh, yes, both.
Oh, yes!
Oh, that Corvette is fine.
Look at how many cars are trying to go through here. They're 3 wide coming through. Squiddy's got fed out into the wall. They're 2 wide coming up through the cutting.
Oh, he's making a move on Viking Racer now into the dipper and does it. He's caught around the outside into the dipper. What a move.
Oh, he runs a little bit wide. He's on the grass.
Keep it clean. Come on, Oil. Bring it home.
Showman's got the run.
Stand finish. Who's going to get it? Showman's got it. Oh, he's just taken out the win on the
West side down the hill. Captain's got his nose in front just barely. Oh, he has full trust in him. They're still side by side. Captain takes the position around the outside down the hill.
Around the outside.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have 3 wide. Adam's going wide. Adam's going deep under the brakes under Rexy. Gets the pass done. Goes Adam from
Fourth to first.
What a move.
finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy from Puncture on the way in. He tries to reach this and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shoves it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
The red lights are beginning to come on. And they're off.
And nothing gets me down. You got it tough. I've seen the toughest around. And I know, baby, just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real. jump, jump. Might as well jump. Come on, jump, come on, jump, come on. Let's get might as well jump, jump. Go ahead and jump. Push it real good. Jump, come on, jump, come on. Let's get physical. Hold up, just a little tighter. Come on, hold up. Tell me if you're ready. Come on.
Oh dear, this is terrible. What is he doing? In all my years of commentating on Formula One, I've never seen anything like it.
Might as well jump, jump. Might as well jump. Come on, jump, come on, jump, come on. Let's get might as well jump, jump. Go ahead and jump. Push it real good. Jump, come on, jump, come on. Let's get physical. Jump. Let's get physical. Jump. Physical. Jump. Let's get physical. Come on. Physical.
And there is the checkered flag.
I'm a gamer,
A foodie.
A boss lady. I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
Outspoken.
I am fashion,
I'm old-fashioned.
What I am not.
It's the same. But none of us are.
we are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
Dog walking.
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
Let's champion the things that set us apart.
Because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
I'm a gamer.
G'day everyone, welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed race 1. We gave you a little bit of time to grab another drink or go to the bathroom. We're back here for race 2, which is at the Nürburgring Sprint Track in the GR Supra Group 4 car for another 11 laps. So should be another exciting one here. Looking forward to plenty more close racing. But taking Dale's place in the commentary box for race 2 here is Rick Reen from Trailblazers.
G'day everybody. Great
Mate,
race
glad
one.
glad to have you on board here.
Thanks, mate. Thanks,
for
mate.
race 2.
Glad to be here.
How's your confidence level with your Trailblazers lads coming into race 2 here?
Oh look, we knew coming into this that we might have a bit of a challenge ahead because some of the talent from the guys in the other teams we knew already. In fact, I think half the field has at one stage or another been in Trailblazers at some stage, so we know what they are like and their speed, etc. We're here just for participation and do the best we can. The guys are been busy training all week. Unfortunately, with the late substitution with Ando not being available, in fact he's currently at 40,000 feet and messaging us in the live stream. So we're going to have fun. We're here to have fun, and just to be part of this is just amazing for everybody. And I thank the organisers and the other teams, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Absolutely. We're very happy that you guys could join us here for this big event, and it's a shame that Ando missed out because we know he's pretty much got a finger in just about every league around, and probably could have represented just about any of the competitors here tonight.
Absolutely.
But he definitely would have stepped up the field as well.
Before we jump into the race 2, I'll bring up the point overlay, which has now... No, there we go, it's automated. Fantastic. So, unfortunately, for some reason, we've got a bit of a bug with the way it filters, so we're only going to see the drivers on screen as they're listed. As we've punched them in, unfortunately, it won't list who is currently leading. But second to bottom there, we can see is PLE Goat, 12 points for race 1. Sekers in second place, 11 points. And Geesh with 10 points there as well. So as the night goes on, this will get better and obviously more populated. Race 2, race 3, race 4. And yeah, we will see who is going to come out on top. But race 2, let's get back into it.
Absolutely. I think we've jibbed old mate Geesh of a couple of E's from his name there too, but hopefully they're not too important, too near and dear to him. But yeah, I'll let the lads know that the track is open, and we'll get quali underway and see how we go here around this quite new circuit quite new variation of the circuit to Gran Turismo 7. There we go, and speaking of the man Geesh, he's leading the pack out of the pits, so first one out, nice and keen. Be interesting to see if any teams try and work together here for qualifying. A little bit of slipstream down that back straight could be quite interesting. I think a bit of car control is going to be quite important for these Group 4 Supras. While they're not too wily, we are on the medium tyre, so it can be a little more slippy than the softs of the previous race. Is there anyone in particular you'd like to jump on board with there, Rick, to see how they quali?
I might just give Super Sub a run. Colin, he's came in at the last minute, doing pretty well.
Alright, let's jump on board with Colin. Talk us through his lap there, Rick.
Where are we?
Still out lap for now. So
still the out lap for now, so yeah, getting through. Just to point out too, guys, I don't know if many of you know, but we've had a couple of our members pass away in the last 12 months. So as a mark of respect, all of our cars are running their race numbers, the number 18 and 71. As a mark of respect, and those numbers for our league have been permanently quarantined, so to speak. That's their numbers forever.
Yeah, that's
super. A lovely tribute.
Yeah, super unfortunate and a fantastic way to pay tribute to your members there. That's really good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, one big happy family we are. So coming into the final corner, ready to get onto the main straight. Running a little bit wide.
That's right, still a beautiful run out there, yep.
Got Nico in tow behind, which is good to see. Might pick his speed up as well. Yeah, we have only recently run a series with these cars as a one-make series, so the guys are pretty used to the way they run. So hopefully they'll bring a better result than the first race with these cars.
Yeah, those Peugeots were a bit of a tricky one to throw at everyone. But it's looking like Colin's gotten through the first sector quite well, using all the runoff there. Nico, as you said, close behind in the tow, approaching the right-hander now instead of going down there to the left.
Still such a weird
early on the power. It's very strange.
Yeah, we decided to pick this one as a point of difference. Everyone has obviously raced a lot of the standard Nürburgring, so why not try the new iteration with the shortcut?
Okay, Nico with a beautiful run out of that corner, following Colin here as well. Hopefully they don't trip over each other, but Colin might be actually getting out of the way for Nico, so
yep.
There goes a little bit of team tactics, not going to hold up the driver who's on the faster lap. Oh, Nico with a slide coming out of the chicane, holds it together. We've got a 30.6 is the time to beat from Geesh so far. Goat second, Flossie third. Here comes Nico and Colin to the line now. So we've got a 32.5 from Nico and a 33.7 from Colin, who unfortunately had to get out of the way of Nico, or didn't have to, but decided to get out of the way there for Nico.
Interesting
but
bit of
Geesh and Goat making up the front row.
Yeah, interesting bit of a mix-up. Some typical names up there. Goat and TX3 are obviously on the front 2 rows still, but Geesh taken out pole by, actually, what is the margin there? 4/10. That's quite substantial.
Almost 5, yeah. He's absolutely nailed that lap. And, yeah, that's credit to him. He's taken the kind of the left field of the races tonight, you know, the new track, and he's absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, great lap. Great times.
Okay. So yeah, Geesh and Goat making up the front row, Flossie and GTR making up the second row, Adam and Seckers on the third there, Curry and Diswood making up the fourth, fifth row is Nico and John, Colin and Smashing Apex making up the sixth row.
I think third is a good place to start again, so I'm going to jump on with, well, not on board, but stay focused on Flossie for this start.
Yeah, it's a good choice there. We got 4, 5 lights now, and everyone is away. Not the trickiest to launch in these cars. You just hold it flat stick and hope for the best from what I can see. And everyone's kind of singling down. Adam looking up the inside of GTR coming into turn 1. Flossie looking to hold third, but Adam's gotten past GTR and now looking around the outside of Flossie as well. As we come through, Adam's still going to be on the outside, but GTR looking up the inside of Flossie there. Oh, bit of contact, and I believe Flossie got shot out to the side there.
He did,
Diswood
I'm not sure
wide as well.
Not sure entirely what happened there, if that was a bit of a net code.
Diswood looking for a move up the inside of Adam here too. Oh, John up the inside of Seckers, so the Track Stars boys throwing their weight around, getting a bit sideways coming out of the corner there too. Seckers going to be able to hold off John for the time being because of that.
Yeah, Nico picked up 2 with a late dive into that last corner as well, so jostling at the back end of the field.
Oh, he's got out onto the dirt coming onto the back straight here, but still held a decent exit, and Geesh holding towards the front, followed by Goat and GTR making up the current podium. Mid-pack Mayhem looks to be where it's at again, as we have still most of the field within touch of each other, all of the field in touch with each other actually. As we come around the final corner to complete lap 1, Nico has half a look up the inside of Seckers. Has compromised his exit though. Hopefully he can hold off Flossie coming into turn 1 here with a better run. Not enough in it for Flossie to make a dive, I don't think. Nico just precautionary, going defensive. Flossie looking for it around the outside from way downtown as well. Nico holds it off with that inside line though. So Flossie looking quite aggressive, wanting to move up through the field here, and it's really showing. Curry looking like he's got some pace just behind Flossie as well. Oh, Flossie with a big slide. Lucky to hold that one as well.
He did well to manage that.
Very well.
Just ahead of these guys, Seckers right underneath that rear wing of John 27. So John has gotten by Seckers. As we come through onto the right-hander leading us onto the back straight. John looks a little wide. Flossie timing the run. And he's got quite a good one. Is he going to go inside? He is, which turns to the outside of the chicane, but he could have the move done by the time they get there. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Oh, they break at an identical time, holding steady.
Too contact wide through this chicane is supremely impressive. John looking for the crossback, and Seckers now on the outside there. There's a little bit of overlap still, so Seckers has got to provide room. John with just that little bit tighter line, able to get himself a bit of a slingshot onto the start-finish straight. And yeah, Seckers has got his work cut out for him in this battle.
And he does. I'm sure we'll see him try and go around the outside coming into turn 1 here as well. John going to be late on the brakes again. They brake at the exact same time.
Sekka's almost trying for a bit of a crisscross there, but no, maybe just thinking better of it. Actually, what are tyres like for this race, guys? What are the requirements and how well do they last?
Do you want to field that one there, Rick, if you've got the info on hand?
I haven't got the info on hand. I know they're running mediums. I know that much.
So mediums over the 11 laps should hold out pretty well. I don't think tyre wear's too much of a concern for this one, nor fuel, so it's very much a go hard and see how you go. Oh, 5th place, Diswood has a 2.5 second penalty somewhere. He's picked that up. I don't know where you get that 2.5 second penalty, but that's going to cost him big. That's going to be John and Sekka's past him, and maybe even the pack of Nico and Flossie as they come towards the end of the straight here. We'll see how he goes.
That is huge. That's going to knock you right down to 80k again, right on this kink. Yeah,
there's Nico, there's Flossie. Curry's not going to get there. No, I don't think the teammate will go for there. Holds it back, but that does help Apex gain on Curry as well. Oh, had a big crunch behind Curry. Oh, Nico's got a 1 second penalty as well for in 7th place. So penalties really showing up here.
So Smashing Apex has got half one as well, half a second.
There you go. So not something I even considered when looking at this race, to be honest.
No, they
seem to be playing their part.
Yeah, it's not been a track well known for penalties. Sorry,
final chicane. Yeah, I'd say the final chicane is a killer. It will catch you out if you cut that one. I don't dare say that the early mark was probably at the new corner. For the 2.5.
Yeah,
Goat hanging on to Geesh there, a few tenths between them. I think that's been pretty steady for most of the race, and GDR just lurking, or TX3 GDR just lurking in the background in the podium there. Who knows if that's going to stay the way it is. If tyre wear is not too much of an issue, I dare say it's just going to come down to driving mistakes and see who can keep it clean.
Yeah, Adam not too far off of that podium pack as well, just a second back there.
Collins just had a accident at the new corner. It's got front aero.
It's unfortunate for Colin. Yeah, I see now 9 seconds off the back of Apex. It's unfortunate. Definitely seems like 5th through to about 11th seems to be the hot zone again for this race. That mid pack,
mid pack, absolutely. Everyone's tyre wear seems to be on par this time around. It doesn't seem to be playing as much of an issue early on, anyway.
Seems Woody and Flossie can't get enough of each other either. These two are nose to tail on track once more.
That they are, and it makes me wonder if the tyre wear was a problem that Geesh had for race 1 and knew that and held back a little bit of pace, but knowing that it's not a concern. Oh, Flossie with a big moment. Knowing that it's not a concern for this race, decided to... Oh, there goes Woody as well. Everyone's getting sideways. I just love to finish my sentence, boys. Can you keep it together? Woody up the inside of Flossie now as they come through the stadium section of the track. But yeah, tyre wear may be a concern for Geesh in the previous race, not so much here, and is really showing his true pace. Oh, got it out.
Yeah, no, they seem to be pushing a lot harder this time around. They obviously have a little bit more control over the cars, and they're well and truly going for it in that mid-pack.
Yeah. It's looking like track styles and wheel to wheel is the flavour of the day, because we've got John and Sekkas in 5th and 6th, and then we've got Woody and Flossie in 7th and 8th, just the pairings of battling. And then to make that even better, we've got Curry right behind Flossie, the 3rd and final track star driver.
Plenty of battles left, right and centre, and that's something that I've really been happy with tonight so far. It's just how close some of these driver pairings are. And I mean, even if we're talking back up front here, GDR seemingly has caught on to the back of Goat. These two are inseparable in race 1, so it's really good to see that it is driver skill, not just the car or the track combo, that is a particular strength to any one person.
Yeah, and something I'd love to point out is, I'm sure you guys are well aware, you know, when you're on Gran Turismo 7 and you do a couple laps in a car and, stop there, it tells you how many kilometres you've done in that car. I just want to point out that TX3 GTR has done all of 27 kilometers in this car up to right now, and there was someone else there down the back of the field. Smashing Apex is right about the same, just about to hit 27 Ks, so these boys coming in with not a whole lot of practice in the cars, showing some really good pace and adaptability of all things as well. Oh, goat wide there as well as they come onto the back straight.
Well, if you go in the opposite direction, if you look at Colin, it's 5,000 Ks he's done in this car.
Yeah, he's a couple laps for Colin there, and Nico with 240. But you did say that you've just previously run a series in this car, so I'm sure some of that's part of that. Track Stars, gents, a couple of them are around 200. Seckers has got 800 Ks on the car. So, a bit of time put in for old Seckers there, and it's showing. He's managed to get by John at some point, actually, and is now leading him around as we start lap 7.
Yeah, actually, practice Ks don't actually register on the car either, guys, so that is pure racing laps.
That it is, yes, 5,000 and whatever Ks of actual racing laps there for Colin. Yes. It's a decent slog.
That is absolutely mega, and that is only in Gran Turismo 7 too, which has been out for about 12 months, maybe
just over 12 months.
Yeah. So think about GT7. I would hate to see my stats throughout lockdown and what I was doing for those.
Gran Turismo Sport, yes.
Yes, and the dramas unfortunately continue for Nico here. He's picked up a 1-second penalty. The Trailblazers lads having a bit of a rough one, some penalty dramas and a moment for Colin. It's a bit unfortunate. We might have to get you off of comms there, Rick, so they can, you can stop putting the curse on them.
Absolutely.
The commentator's curse is an absolute pain. It rears its ugly heads at its most opportune moment.
And in 7th here, Flossie's got a great run on Wood as we are on the run back up to the chicane. He's tried to go outside, made a bit of contact with the rear, so couldn't make it fit there. But I think that's where Flossie's lining up a move, so something to keep an eye on there. And I guess half an eye on that battle for second, them podium places aren't that important, but we'll keep an eye on that as GTR is just creeping further and further up on Goat. He's getting within 2 tenths now, so...
How close some of these drivers can drive and trust each other. GTR with a big slide there. And they have full trust that they are not going to come together. Goat with the slide as well. These cars seem to be a bit of a handful. I've always known them to be a underpowered and really just a car that you can plant your foot in, but clearly not.
Yeah, I think the medium tyres are really showing their face. A bit of wear coming through as well, getting a little bit more slippery as you adjust to the conditions. But I've seen quite a few slides throughout the field here of these guys. Oh, someone's had a moment as well. Yeah, I saw that one. Apex has lost it through the stadium section. But on the positive note there, Colin up into 11th, gone the super sub.
No, Smashing's probably going to get some birthday cake, being his birthday today, so yeah.
There you go. I believe, could be wrong, it's could be Goat's birthday soon as well, so quite a few birthdays coming around the leagues. Oh, GTR's just gotten by Goat in the last corner for second. Goat with a run out of the corner though, and keeping him honest, right alongside. He's gotten that better run. They're going to be nose to nose here.
Identical braking markers. Goat with the inside is going to quickly turn to the outside.
Still got the overlap, has Goat GTR, and Goat's... Oh, he's got on the power nicely. He's back on the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Bringing Adam back into this as well. Oh, Goat with a big slide. Oh, contact. And here comes Adam up the inside now as well. Goat not able to go defensive.
Nah, it was squeezed there and couldn't do anything about it.
What we can do is try and hold that outside line. Oh, bit of a loose coming out of that corner from Adam as well as I trip up on my words. And there goes Sector 1 through. Goat holding second comfortably, and then loses a spot to GTR, tries to get him back, and loses that spot to Adam. If it can happen that quickly.
Just been running through the field, guys. Tyre wear seems to be an issue for Diswood. He seems to be well and truly worn out that front left compared to the rest of the field. The guys at the front, Geesh is a little bit more wear than the two behind. So that might come into a play as we get closer to the end.
Yeah, he's got a nice buffer, does Geesh, but one little mistake, as we've seen, these cars can get quite loose. Could be it. And Seckers has managed to get by John at some point. I think I missed that one. But Seckers up into 5th. Adam defending that 3rd place from Goat, having half a look around the outside, looking for the cutback as we come out of the corner. He's got the acceleration, but giving up the inside twice in a row again. Looking for the cutback, but it's not happening, giving GTR a bit of daylight between himself and Adam as well. So this fight's quite important for the Sector 1 boys. Adam looking to hold that final spot and relieve GTR of a bit of pressure from Goat as well. Goat looking up the inside, showing the nose, tucks back in though. On lap 10 of 11, so about 1.5 laps remaining as we come through the run to the back straight again. Quite similar exits for Adam and Goat as well, so he's not going to have the run. He's going to have to make it up through the chicane and on the run down to turn 1 by the looks of it. Here we go, tucks in nicely. Oh, very loose coming over the bumps of the chicane there.
Absolutely launching over those chicanes. They are, like you've said, Rick, they are flaunting with danger to avoid penalties there. Obviously, at Nürburgring, that's where you can pick them up, or one of the places you can pick them up, as we've seen earlier. So Goat not quite giving up on the podium place there. Final lap, he's only got a couple of corners really as an overtaking opportunity. He's got to pick his points very well, but so far, Sector 1 really just showing off at this point in time.
Yeah, looking for the clean sweep of the podium, Sector 1, and Goat looking to play spoilers.
He's got a couple of opportunities left. Of course, being a wheel-to-wheel member, I am pushing Goat, trying to get him into 3rd place, but he's got a little bit tail-happy there. Unfortunate, nothing going just yet. It'll all come down to his exit onto the back straight. See what sort of an overspeed he can get and challenge into the chicane.
Yeah, Adam has incredible tyres as well. Compared to Goat, almost twice as good. So he's going to have that extra grip coming through here and actually gets the better exit, so it's going to be really, really tough for Goat to make that up. Maybe he should just straight line the chicane and hope for the best. He's looking for it. No, he shows a little bit of the nose, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to capitalise on that. He nailed that chicane, but wide on the exit, he's gone around. He has 8 seconds of buffer there back to last place, but we'll jump up to first as Geesh takes first place. GTR is going to come across the line in second, and it is a full podium sweep from Sector 1 as Adam comes across the line in 3rd. Goat bringing home that 4th place. Seckers with John in tow. It's going to be close.
Ooh.
Seckers gets John by 0.8 of a second. Flossie has beaten Diswood in their battle, come home in 7th. Woody in 8th. Curry is going to come across the line in 9th. Nico is going to make it into the top 10. Colin, the super sub, not last. Hashtag not last for Colin there. I'm going to put that one out there for Rando. He loves these hashtags. 11th place for Colin. And Apex going to bring it home for 12th place there.
What a race. Sector 1 really just showing off at this point in time. Taking out all 3. All 3 positions in the podium. Fantastic effort, and yeah, really good to see these battles open up. A little bit of contact made. We may see some stewards reports this time, so we didn't have any for race 1. We may get some in race 2. Couple of nose to tails or nose to rear quarters. So that'll give our resident steward Dodgy something to look over, and it means he actually has to do something.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he actually did something. He doesn't do too much around here, does Dodgy, but...
couldn't be further from the truth. Dodgy is an absolute weapon in the behind the scenes, and has done significant amount in getting this Super Series up and running, and brought us the PERMOBIL partnership. So yeah, absolute shout outs to Dodgy.
Sucking up gets you everywhere, Cap.
Spot on. I forgot you're actually in this chat.
I didn't. Yes,
no.
but
No, it was really good, guys. Fantastic racing by everybody. It just goes to show that some of these guys are really close together in nice tight battles. And many of them, I reckon, have all raced each other in various guises throughout the years, and it's good to see that they're all coming together and performing really well.
Absolutely. And it's just absolutely what a race. That's incredible one with the Sector 1 boys taking out that podium. But we will now lead back into the video package, and we will see you guys back for race 3.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
A boss lady. I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
Outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old-fashioned.
What I am not
is the same.
But none of us are.
We are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
Dog walking,
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
let's champion the things that set us apart.
because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
I think Chris might have enough, but Apex is pulling him in quickly. Oh, it's bloody close. Oh, is that a dead heat? I think we've got a dead heat.
He's going to work off the wheelie again.
Come on, yes, both.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's what it is fine.
Look at how many cars are trying to go through here. They're 3 wide coming through. Squiddy's got fed out into the wall. They're 2 wide coming up through the cutting.
Oh, he's making a move on Viking Racer now into the dipper and does it. He's caught around the outside into the dipper. What a move.
Oh, he runs a little bit wide. He's on the grass.
Keep it clean. Come on, Oil, bring it home. It's gotta be
Showman's
a
got the run.
stand finish. Who's going to get it? Showman's got it. Oh, he's just taken out the win on the
West side down the hill. Captain's got his nose in front just barely. Oh, he has full trust in him. They're still side by side. Captain takes the position around the outside down the hill.
Really, yes.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have 3 wide. Adam's going wide. Adam's going deep on the brakes on Rexy. Gets the pass done. Goes Adam from
Fourth to first.
What a move.
Oh, who's going to concede? Nobody concedes. Bugsy sixes through.
Oh, getting absolute muscle there. At turn 1, that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he's far. Oh, no. That's massive for Adam.
All over the rear bumper of Spin, mate. These guys are knocking heads with each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
Pulls out to the outside. Here we go again.
finish for these two.
The overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1.
There's contact there from chasing the puncture on the way in. He tries to reach this and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shoves it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
The red lights are beginning to come on. I get up. And they're off. And nothing gets me down. You got it tough. I've seen the toughest around. And I know, baby, just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real. Commentating on Formula One, I've never seen anything like it. Maxwell jump, jump. Maxwell jump. Come on, jump, come on, jump, come on. Let's get Maxwell jump, jump. Go ahead and jump. Push it real good. Jump. Is the checkered flag.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady.
I am sporty, outdoorsy,
outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old.
There we go. Welcome back, everyone, from the ad break there. And as you see here, we are all prepared for the next race of the night. But before we get into the details of that one, I'd love to introduce the person taking Rick's spot in the commentary box here tonight, Spud from Trackstars. How are you, mate?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's exciting to be here at the Saint Croissant and the C layout that we have tonight, which is what we know as the home of Trackstars Racing Series. It is a Group 2 racing, or GT 500s, or in this case DTMs with the Audi RS5, plus the C layout, which extends well over 14 kilometres long, and is a beautiful layout in the French Riviera. On the borders between Italy and I believe Austria. So so we've crossed the border from Germany, bit of a train ride from Germany through France all the way down south to the Riviera. So it's exciting to bring these cars here, and some great liveries as well with these Audi RS5s.
Yeah, wonderful canvas for the livery lads to work on there. Stretching out over these new Audis new to GT7 Audis, they look incredible for each iteration of each team here. Obviously, I have the slight bias towards the wheel-to-wheel one, but yeah, every team has showed up with their livery game in full force here. And I have to give a mention, now that you're in the comms box, to the Trackstars vehicle liveries, as they've got unique liveries for each race here, which just shows the good bit of time and effort that the lads have put in from Trackstars as well.
Yeah, we have to thank Mitch Curry and GC12 Curry for actually providing us the liveries here at Trackstars Racing Series. We find this event as just a nice little bit of a get-together for all four of the biggest leagues here in Australia. And for a fun event for tonight, such as tonight, we just thought, let's change it up a little bit. I feel like you got every league running their same liveries from race 1 through to race 4, but Mitch decided to say, let's up it up a little bit. Let's bring a bit of brightness to it. Let's bring a little bit of attention to the rest of the field. So especially in that last race with the Supras, with the blue and green livery that
just about glowing those
us.
ones, yes.
Yeah, and it was absolutely incredible. You see every car. I mean, you could say in a way, when you've got the dark colours like your reds, you got your greys, you've got your blacks. It's kind of it just kind of brings it. It's kind of as it was in Nürburgring. It was very dark, very gloomy, not enough sunshine. But then you bring the bright colours like ours. It was just
oh wow, that little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, these liveries are great, and he's done a lot of that. He's put a lot of effort into our liveries, and especially with our touring car season that's coming up, we usually have some excellent liveries from all of our 7 teams participating in the upcoming Trackstars Touring Cars Championship.
Okay, an update from the stewards room in the absence of Dodgy, as he is busily working away with his adjudications. We have had a couple of incidents reported, however none of them have resulted in a penalty. Unfortunate result of lag or a racing incident between the drivers. So yeah, nothing going there, and we are experiencing a little bit of a delay with the points update for the second race. So we will see how we land at the end of race 3. But I say we jump on with starter quali for this giant circuit.
Absolutely. Before we jump straight on into that, I will apologies. I will just give a little bit of a wrap around about what this race is going to be for everyone watching at home. So obviously we've got the Group 2 one make in the beautiful Audi RS5 DTM car, or Group 2 as GT7 classifies it, and we've got 7 laps around the wonderful Saint Croissant C, with the soft and medium tyre both required. So there is a mandatory pit stop in this one, which should be a bit of a difference maker, really.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got all the soft tyres and the medium tyres. So strategy, this is actually the first race of the 4 races that strategy will come into play on who's going to be running what strategy. So look out for pit stops, look out for drivers coming in for a short stint on those mediums, and then you might be able to see potentially like a 3-lap dash, whether they're going to use those 3 laps at the beginning of this race or whether they're going to go towards the end. But I will say the drop-off between softs and mediums with these cars, if you stay within a tow and you can really hold on, especially with that added DRS that these Audi RS5s have, you know, you've got people either mashing their whatever map they've got their DRS, they might be just getting a bit of sticky tape and there's maybe just putting it on the car, just putting on their controller or wheel and just leaving it there, just not touching it whatsoever and just focusing on the race ahead. But you did say that there is a bit of a compulsory tyre change, and is there also a compulsory stop where drivers have to actually eat as many croissants as they can?
I thought it was just the fastest to eat 3, but we are good to kick off whenever you're ready there, Dodgy. Okay. We're just about to open up qualifying.
I haven't. Are we live, are we?
We are absolutely live, Dodgy.
Well, I better not say anything then, eh?
So I've given the viewers a brief rundown of the stewards' adjudications. Nothing in too detail other than the couple incidents reported have so far resulted in no penalty. If there is something further you would like to raise?
No, that is correct. They have resulted in no penalty, one due to lag and one was just deemed a racing incident. So as of yet the leaderboards aren't tallied, but we'll do that during this race.
Lovely work. We will jump into a quick cutscene which will further explain or just give a bit of background about the race 3 coming up.
Yes, so jumping into qualifying for race 3, standard qualifying from the previous is just the hot lap, but the out lap on this one is quite a bit larger than the previous ones, and I do like the bit of variation in the tracks that we've had tonight. So, you know, Maggie West has quite a bit of... I've lost the word. You know, you go up the hill and down the hill. It's got lots of that. Very technical explanation, you're welcome. We have Nürburgring, which is quite a familiar track, I feel, for most, as it comes up quite often, but a different variation of it. And now we have the massive St. Croix C, which is going to be, a 3.5 minute lap, I believe?
Yeah, so, we're looking at about just over 3 minutes, roughly about the 3 minute 9s, 3 minute 10s. If you've got a fast driver, you're probably going to be looking into, potential low 3 minute 9s, even a high 308s, but that's really pushing it. So you have to really, this is where team gamesmanship really comes into play. So you got to have all the team drivers working with each other. You have to sacrifice a team player just to be, that you're punching a hole in the air just to really use that slipstream to its advantage. So as we have John actually leading the way so far on this outlap in the Trackstars Audi RS5, but he's coming down what I like to call the long neck down straight, because by the time you actually start the straight and finish the straight, you can down a long neck within a heartbeat. And in John's case, he's probably doing that right now. If he sees brakes,
that's probably why he went a bit deep there. He was struggling to finish it off. Maybe he's already a few deep after race 1 and 2. But I've been given the vocabulary from the YouTube chat. Elevations and undulations were the words I was attempting to find there.
That is just far too many syllables. Ups and downs, far easier.
I think I might stick with up the hill, down the hill from now on. I actually quite enjoyed that, but we come around here now, and just to finish off the tour of the tracks, we finished off at Daytona, which... legendary racetrack is the Daytona Oval and the Daytona Road Course, homes of the 24-hour race, and of course the Daytona 500 if you go NASCAR.
All right, Spud, do you want... And he's gone. I was just about to throw to him for a
Spud, unfortunately.
lap. Yeah, I was just about to throw to him for a lap of one of his drivers, but that's not going to happen just yet.
No, but we do have John on the exit of Turn 2, now going to Turn 3. He's still going to turn 3. Still on the run up to turn 3 here. And now braking for turn 3, so we're almost there. And here is turn 3. Enjoy. Oh, it's gone. But now we get into the tight, twisty section of St. Croissant C. Sweeping left that's a bit tighter than you might think, and then a nice, long, sweeping right-hander that tightens up at the end. You've got to get your braking right here, as it's a bit awkward. And drive it all the way out to the exit of the curve. This double left-hander can be quite tricky as well. I'm going to say that about most corners on this track, as it can be quite the tricky one if you haven't practiced it much. And John doing quite well through the second of the left-handers now. And on that DRS button quite a bit. Now, through this next left, we rejoin where the rest of the circuit comes from, if you're in another iteration of it. And now down the hill to the bridge, which I think might cause a little bit of chaos, this downhill section into the bridge, as the guardrail on the left-hand side as you come over the hill here can be
it
quite,
comes up real quick, and the bump
damaging.
on that right-hander is an absolute bugger if you get it wrong, and yeah, we'll send you into that wall with no mercy.
Absolutely. All those bumps going into the bridge. As soon as you get the wrong bump, what we usually say in the Trackstars community, if you take too much bump, you actually go fishing on that left-hand side. There's a boat ramp down there on the left-hand side, and you catch it out, you hit the barriers. Yep, you're in the Riviera going fishing.
John with a pretty smooth run onto this back straight here. He had a couple of corrections in some earlier corners there, but this giant long straight is really critical to get a good exit. So it looks like he's done that, and he's just going to have to pick his braking marker for this last section of the course, which is nearly as long as some other courses. 150 board goes past the start of the ripple strip, goes past, and he's on the anchors. Hard right hand, keeping it nice and tight on the exit there, trying to get the power down, a little bit of a correction. This is another fast sweeping section of the course. Keeping it nice and tight for his lines there. It looked like he took a bit of dirt, but I think that might just be our view, and he's absolutely nailing how far and how wide he wants to put this car, and really just getting a nice car position, and it looks super hooked up.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a strong lap here from John as he rounds the right, coming into the final left-hander to set his lap. And one thing I'm a little bit hypnotized by is watching that rear wing snap up and down as they press the DRS button. But here we go to see what type of time we're going to have from John. It's a 3:10.9 out of John. Jeesh goes top with a 3:10.5 for now. Adam comes in with an 11.4. Goat goes top with a 3:10.1. Seckers goes third with a 3:10.7 there as well. Colin coming across with 3:14.9. Unfortunate there for the super sub. Flossie coming to the line now. See what he can do. Going to be a 3:10.934, which just puts him behind John by 0.03 of a second. TX3 GTR with a 3:10.2 right behind Goat. Curry now coming across the line. 3:13.0 puts him in 8th place provisionally. Smashing Apex stays 10th place, 3:18.5. We have Nico now coming to the line. See what type of time we're going to get out of Nico. It's a 3:12.8, good enough for 8th place. And now Diswood, taking plenty of grass on the run on the final corner. He could be on for quite a good time. There's 3:10. It's going to be a 3:11.0, which is only good enough for 7th. So top, what is that? The top 8 drivers separated by 1.2 seconds, which is an absolute barnstormer. And can I just confirm we do have Spud back in the room, just to double check before I kick off?
Yeah, no, I do apologise. For that. It's just my game just seems to be not cooperating with me this year so far. So it's a little bit. Yeah, exactly. But some good times there. So some 3-minute 10s that we saw there with Goat taking out pole position on that, and it's really hard to really nail that lap. Especially as soon as you make a mistake on that first couple of corners, then it's just then the rest is just game over, unfortunately. So you really have to get down pat that first sector, because you won't be able to make it up throughout the rest of the lap.
It's an absolute, it is an absolute pain when you do make a mistake, because you have got 3.5 minutes before you can go again. But even with tonight's qualifying, you've got a one-lap dash. So again, sort of no surprises to see some of the usual suspects up the top end of town. Goat taking out pole by 1.5 tenths. Obviously, TX3 GDR not too far behind, and my short-term memory has failed me. I can't remember who rounded out podium for the qualifying session.
Neither can I, but we should find out shortly. And interesting to see the range of tyres being selected here, which drivers deciding to start on softs, which deciding to start on the mediums. So we'll have a run through that once the race gets going. But I'm going to guess that most of the guys starting towards the front of the field are going to be on that soft tyre.
If I was in their shoes, I certainly would. I would want to maximise the use of some potential free space. But it's also very easy to get caught up with battling, and as soon as you start fighting with someone, you take the edge off of the tyres, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's all about that strategy as well, whether they're actually going to just run it for that one lap or go for a couple of laps and then make their way into the pit lane. But it's all about who you're going to race in the opening couple of corners, as we're about to go. 5 red lights here for the...
And I'm feeling Geesh for the start of this one. The race 2 winner, starting from that 3rd position.
Yep, I'm feeling the same, keeping it
5 lights. And there we go. We'll see how everyone's managing the launch. Couple of traction controls being used there to get off the line. As everyone's away. Goat leading GTR. They're going to be side by side as they come into turn 2. Geesh has made contact with the wall. Goat still looking up the inside. Adam, it's chaos back there. They were 4 wide for a second. Woody looking up the inside of Adam. Adam and Woody. Curry's gone.
Keep an eye on Diswood and John 27. They've both recently finished a race here last year in the Trackstars Touring Cars Championship for the St. Croix at a annual St. Croix 1500 Enduro, and these guys were very strong around this track last year.
Absolutely, and the someone else is gone. It is Adam. So Adam's Curry and Adam being bitten by the GR2 cars already. Going from the Group 4 to the Group 2, quite the power difference.
Absolutely, and this is why Trackstars is a very high speed, high power kind of series with our GT500. Adam's just actually gone off again onto the gravel trap, and that part of the track really sucks you in if you get that line wrong. The gravel trap's waiting on that left-hand side. But yeah, the high-speed racing that we have at Trackstars with our Group 2 GT500s and as well as our Formulas, our boys really know how to drive these cars, and so far they're doing themselves a good job up in that top 5 or top 6.
Yeah, Woody went for a dive on Seckers and had to pull out of it, got loose on corner exit as well, so he dropped back a little bit, but he's got the run onto the bridge here as well. Yeah. Early on that DRS button, got the slipstream. John losing a bit of time to Woody, so he's absolutely nailed the exit. Moving to the inside to make the move as we come into the braking zone. Seckers looking to hold it around the outside, a little bit off camber, and Woody goes on through. Big moment though on corner exit.
Big save there by Woody, and he's done a fantastic job to make that move, but now it's all about just really trying to fend on this long neck straight. Everyone's understeering.
So is Seckers.
But Wood's got actually damage.
DRS button down.
Yeah, so he's got damage on that front splitter and the front left suspension, so he's got a lot of work to do. But here comes his teammate in John. He's going to try and go for the outside, go for a move on his teammate, but now looking to make a move on Seckers at the end of the long neck straight. Will he be able to go for an inside? He's finding a gap right on the right-hand side. He's going to squeeze the nose in. Seckers close the door, and some great racing. But watch just Wood go around the outside. He's almost going side by side with Seckers and doesn't get it done there. That's some brilliant racing there for 4th place. The top 3 are just running away. As we go back to GDR, he's the only driver in that top half of the field is on the soft tyres. So he's running the fast strategy. He's like, get me out of here because I want to be able to run a fast strategy with these tyres.
Yeah, so a big thing for the moment is, as you said, the top half of the field, only GTR on the soft tyres. Nico and Colin in 7th and 8th are on those soft tyres, but stuck behind John Diswood and Seckers here, who are having themselves a battle. Just behind them, Apex has just gone for a move on Flossie, but Flossie with a cutback. and takes that position strongly as well, also on that medium tyre. So it's very interesting to see here, and those mediums are going to be up to temperature, so I don't think we'll be seeing too many more spins, but I could eat my words quite quickly. Oh, Wood deep into turn 2 there, and Seckers gets a little bit of a reprieve out to 0.6 of a second, and John has Nico to worry about now, 0.2 of a second between them as we run up. We've lost spot again, unfortunately, as we run up to turn 3.
I dare say this pack is going to stay super tight for the most part of this race. It all comes down to the pit stop and how much fuel they use as well. Are we needing to put fuel in to get the half-hour race distance in these cars, Dragon?
That is a great question there, Cap. that is quite a difficult one for me. As I haven't done any testing, but just looking at the initial fuel, it should be close, maybe a little bit of fuel saving. Could be all that's needed. Woody wide and loose on the corner exit there as John gets right up underneath him. Woody again, big save, and still trying to save it.
I wonder if Woody's just been unlucky and taken that little grip edge off of his tyres and still dealing with some dirty tyres as well. As we all know with Gran Turismo, you dip your tyre in the dirt and you're dealing with that for the next several corners. So Woody's doing a fantastic job of keeping it, well, relatively straight. Pointed where he wants to go and on track.
Yeah, moving in the direction he wants to go. Not a lot of it straight. There's quite a bit of sideways moments going through, but the Trackstars duo here doing well to hold off the soft tyre runners in Nico and Colin. Flossie almost part of this pack of 5 as well, as Colin runs wide. Not good for the super sub there. And I'm going to retain that nickname throughout the night because I love that one for Colin. Stepping up last minute into quite an event, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's done a fantastic job.
As we have, Woody and John working together quite well to hold off Nico. Colin dropped back now, and Flossie collected a little bit of the wall on the run onto the straight, so has lost his chance there. Oh, as that pack gets busy, John and Diswood are having a bit of a war. Here comes Nico up the inside of John, and now Woody next up on the chopping block for the soft tyre runner.
Just watch out for these boys on the soft tyres. They're just going to be really hanging out there. They're going to go all in, full send. So the Trailblazer boys so far with Colin and Nico on those soft tyres doing a really nice job there. So really keeping the pressure up on the Trackstar boys up ahead. So keep an eye on them and wait to see when they come in for their medium run.
Well, speaking of coming in, there's Goat in the pits after 2 laps on the medium, Seckers as well. So is this a wheel-to-wheel strategy?
No,
there comes the rest of the field. So Woody, John, and Flossie. So similar strategies from wheel-to-wheel and Trackstars. The commentary box line up there as well.
Smashing Apex has had to give a little bit of a avoiding action there as Goat was coming out.
Oh, he's gone deep there too.
But has been able to get away with it. So Goat is now on the soft tyres. He's going to have relatively free air, although Smashing Apex might just hold him up for a few corners here, depending on what strat he is on and when he's going to come into the pits.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's actually good to see Jeesh actually running on those medium tyres. So he's still got he's got a bit of a long gap behind his teammate in TX3, but he's holding his own. He's probably playing a strategy where he's just going to stay on those tyres for the next maybe lap or 2, and then really have the fresh tyres and really go for it, because after that victory that he had at Nürburgring, he's looking to go back-to-back for Sector 1.
There we go. We have Goat past Apex now as well after making that pit stop, so I'm sure Apex is just going to look to tuck onto the rear end of Goat and hang with him best as possible as Goat tries to make the chase. I think that pit strategy worked very well for Woody and John. I just want to point out, because they were able to hold up the soft tyre runners in Colin and Nico and then execute their strategy without any delays. Whereas these soft tyre boys have had to try and get past them and have dealt with that quite a bit.
Absolutely. So GDR still leading the way as he's coming around the long right-hander before it goes onto the long neck straight, and really just trying to get that car planted down on the power as early as possible and just hold that DRS button. And, you know, I guess in a way you can look at the scenery. You've got a few houses there on the right-hand side, left-hand side. You've got some mountains in front of you. You've got some greenery with the trees and grass. But in a way, you get distracted by all of that, and all of a sudden, bang! You have to brake and turn right at the end of the long neck. So, but he's doing a good job there. He's holding his own. We know he's a very fast driver in TX3 GDR, and unfortunately for him, he's actually very unfortunate not to drive any GTRs tonight. So he might be a little bit down on him so far.
Yeah, still 7 seconds back to Jeesh, and Jeesh has that 7.2 second gap back to the soft tyre runners. So the S1 boys having a really good start to this race and running those alternate strategies as well, which is quite interesting to me, as we saw, you know, the likes of Wheel to Wheel and Track Stars all pit at the same lap. They had that strategy that they wanted to execute, whereas GTR and Jeesh have started on different tyres and are just going about their own game plans.
Yeah, and I guess that's the same with the Trailblazer boys as well. In both Nico and Colin, they're just running their own race. They're really just wanting to have a bit of fun. But so far, they're doing a good job, as we see Jeesh coming to the pit lane. So there we go, just called it for one more lap on those mediums, and now he's going to really go for that 4-lap dash on those fresh soft tyres.
On board with Goat here as well as he comes down the start-finish straight. Jeesh rolling out of the pit box right now. There goes Goat on by. So Goat holds that assumed second position, what will be second come the pit stops of Colin and Nico.
Was that a pickup move that he made on Jeesh?
I believe it was, yes. Oh, sorry, I just jumped on board with Woody for half a second, and I should know better because he was sideways on the exit of a corner.
That's the life on a controller for Diswood, you know, like he always throws up excitement when it comes to going around a corner. But yeah, as well as we saw in those earlier races in race 1 and 2, those drivers that are on controllers, the tyre wear is absolutely lethal, is actually deadly on that controller tyre wear, and we saw with Woods and a few drivers really struggling just to keep those tyres in order. So, and compared to the wheel drivers, they're really struggling a bit. But he's done a fantastic job so far in the opening 2 races. And this third one, it's all about him just getting his head down and really just trying to nail those fast laps, as he's actually gone purple through Sector 3 as he's trying to catch Seekers for 6th place.
Yeah, I also want to point out those pairings, the wheel-to-wheel Track Stars pairings from Nürburgring have carried over. So we've got Seekers and Woody inseparable, and then behind them we've got John and Flossie remaining inseparable. So they seem to have some good chemistry, these boys, and be right around that same pace of each other, which is good to see, and it makes for incredible racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as I say that, I think Seekers has just collected a bit of the wall coming under the bridge too.
Yeah, and you've got the 2 main Sector 1 boys and Goat. Unfortunately, with Adam with that early incident on lap 1, he's well down the order, unfortunately. So he's running a different strategy. He's actually still on those medium tyres, and I don't think his race is going to get any better, unfortunately. So maybe a few lost points for Sector 1, but you know, there's still one more race to go at Daytona, and it's all about the team game essentially around that track. It's longer racing and proper strategy racing.
Yes, so not too many battles in this longer form of the race, but we still have the pairing of Nico and Colin. I don't think we'll be seeing too much fighting from those 2 gentlemen, as they're probably coming towards the end of their strategy. Another lap maybe to go before they jump into the pits, or maybe they're going to only do the 3 laps on mediums and go for that one instead. But then, yes, we have Woody chasing down Seekers. Same tyres for those guys, John and Flossie. Flossie's actually been gaining on John over the course of this lap as well, so that could turn into quite the battle.
Yeah, and we can see Goat in 4th place really catching those Trailblazer boys, as those Trailblazer boys are really coming to the end of their tyre life, and none of them are actually pulling in, so they're going to go one more lap. It's the same as GDR, so GDR's tyre wear is more or less the same as what Nico and Colin are running at the moment. Yeah. So it's actually it's so, at least for these boys that actually came in the pit stop on those medium tyres, at least now they're getting a bit of an analysis of what these boys are doing up ahead, as we see Colin going for a move and his teammate in Nico for second place, but right behind them on really fresh tyres is Goat, and watch for him to make a move on those Trailblazer boys in the next few sectors.
Yeah, and I think catching these two drivers is going to hurt Goat more than it's going to help, because now he's got to deal with that dirty air. He's got some guys on some old tyres in front of him, while GTR is just out in that fresh air, just dealing with what he has to, moving up the inside.
He's got a very good run going into the long right-hand. He negotiates Nico really easy there, well before the braking zone, and now he's got Colin. Hopefully for him, he might be able to try and go for a bit of a move just before they get into that slalom section before the bridge, and there he'll be able to have some clean air, but he needs to get this done as quickly as he can. Colin runs wide, so does Goat. Yeah, he's got so much grip, but Colin just ran a bit wide and Goat just followed him. Will Goat go for the inside move? He's thinking about it, sticks a nose in. Colin gives him the racing room and a bit more traction for
big
Goat.
Moment for Colin.
Oh, it's a good. Thankfully for Colin, he used Goat as a bit of a block there from spinning sideways. But that's actually this is what's happened for Goat. He's actually being released in clear air well before the bridge. He's got two straights to now negotiate and really catch up to GTR as he's bringing that gap down to 21.4 seconds at the moment. So
and on the other side of that coin as well, he's put those two cars in between himself and Geesh, who now looking around the outside of Nico, unable to do it. So you'd think the straight would be the place to get by these two Trailblazers cars, but if they slipstream each other and both hit that DRS button, it's going to be really tough work for Geesh.
Yeah, Geesh just got a really nice run there. He really slowed himself down to really get a good run. He's going to get a double toe, but I think Colin's just trying to say to Nico, push me, mate. Don't let Geesh go ahead. And you can see the Trailblazer boys are really working well together, getting that double toe, that double slipstream, and Geesh has no answer whatsoever, unless you can go for an outside move on the exit of the long neck straight. Colin goes a little bit deep. Geesh is going to go a little bit deeper. Oh, almost clicks the grass.
Colin loose on corner exit too. It's all happening as they're three wide almost.
Oh, this section's really tricky to go side by side. I think Nico's just going to have to take that position. He does. Colin runs wide. They all run wide. Oh, contact made. Geesh into the barriers.
Contact.
Geesh in the barriers. So is Colin.
Woody just skittled by him as well, as did Seckers. So
Seckers now up into P3 as the Trailblazer boys have really gone down the order there. Not some fine teams game for the boys up in Trailblazers, but that's actually promoted Seekers and Diswood, and Wood is right behind Seekers for P3 as we see GTR exiting the pit lane. As he about to approach turn 2, we're looking at about 4 seconds, just 3.5 seconds.
The gap was 7 seconds before Goat's pit stop on lap 2, so he's pulled in 3 seconds and has to hold on for another 2.
Yeah, so 3.8 for 2 more laps.
Yeah, unfortunately, the big loser out of that collision we saw was Geesh, who was pretty well on track for a top 5 finish and possibly that podium, and now finds himself down in 8th, unfortunately.
Yeah, but look for Diswood. He's going for a late move on Seekers at the end of turn 3. Goes a bit deep. Seekers goes for a switchback move there. Beautiful, great racing between the two boys. Woods really thought about it. He decided to go full send, and then unfortunately just a little bit too deep on the brakes there. So Wood has to do all that hard work again, but he's really closing up on that wheel-to-wheel driver in Seekers. He's got some great confidence in that Audi RS5, and he's really trying to hone him down. He's trying to get his mate in John to tell him to hurry up, because we've got a lot of racing to do, mate. we've got some teamwork to do, and unfortunately for his teammate in Curry, who's down in 10th place, battling Nico.
He is with Nico, yeah.
Yeah, he's just, as Nico just exited the pit lane on those medium tyres, Curry with a bit more grip should be able to negotiate him pretty easy.
Yeah, that Seckers and Diswood battle definitely looking like one of the best ones on track currently, especially as they're rounding the bridge section now.
Yeah, noticing as well, GDR still able to keep that gap between himself and Goat, so maybe the fresh medium tyres compared to worn softs might be favouring GDR. He's maybe done a little bit of work on those medium tyre runs, so he's only losing
It's dropped about 0.8 of a second so far, that gap, so...
And he's only got one more lap to do around this track, and you know, if you lose another 0.8, he's got the victory in the bag. But it's not over yet. It is a It is a very long track.
I think we'll see that time really drop in this next section coming up. The sweeping long left and right hand corners at speeds where
sorry to cut you off there, boys. I've just looked down at third place. There was a massive accident between Seekers and Wood down in third place. I don't know if you boys might be able to see what happened down there. Wood's trying to go for it.
Yeah, I'll see what I can bring up. Seekers and Woody were, they were, I'm not sure. I think that's mostly a bit of net code. There was Woody trying to go for an inside move, and Seekers was holding his line from what I saw. It's just a matter of a bit of net code bumped Woody into the fence and obviously back out into Seekers. But they kept it straight. All positions are being held, so the battle is raging on.
Yeah, unfortunately for Woody, he ended up with a bit of front aero and front left suspension damage, but he's got that cleared now and is back onto chasing down Seekers for, I believe, the 7th lap in a row. These guys have been inseparable.
You can't separate them whatsoever, but this is where, for Wood and John, this is where the knowledge of Sanqua really comes into play. They've been racing here. Out of all the races and series they've done here at Trackstars, they know this track from the back of their head, and they know how to take every single corner. But Seekers is doing a fantastic job for the wheel-to-wheel team to keep that car into P3. But Wood and Shepherd, don't count them out just yet, especially Dis Wood, who's going to be looking to take that, try and find a move on Seekers. Stay within that range of slipstream range. As soon as they get onto that back straight, watch for some fireworks between those two boys.
I heard all the tyre screech from Woody there, and just a little update on the third of the Trackstars drivers. Curry did just get a move done on Nico to move into 9th position, so with that early incident, he's still moving up through the field, getting those team points where he can.
Absolutely, so 9th place for Curry.
We might have a bit of a 3-car battle forming here too. 6th, 7th, 8th, Flossie, Geesh, and Adam within about 2 seconds of each other in total. And Geesh has pulled in about half a second on Flossie already this lap. Is absolutely going at it hammer and tong after that big incident with the Trailblazers boys.
Yeah, and I've noticed there with the gap with GDR, he's actually keeping a very good gap on Goat. So this is some class driving from TX3 GDR. He's keeping at the same gap that when he exited the pit lane. So fantastic driving from the Sector 1 driver in GDR. But Goat as well doing a great job for wheel to wheel just to keep those points up in keep that consistency for that team's championship. But the battle
I think
for third place
going to be under threat here.
Yeah, I could see P3. I just saw Diswood actually just weaving the car on the straight, so he's not happy about on their exiting or going onto the bridge. Rather, he lost a lot of time. Those 1.4 behind Seekers and his teammate John.
Flossie's around contact with Geesh down in 7th place now. Big spin, unfortunately, there for Flossie, and he is going to lose out massively. Did it all by himself over that little hump as you come through that left-hander, and around it went. Snake, I lost what I was going to say again, apologies.
He's really struggling.
Smacked the railing, and around he went, unfortunately.
Such an easy place to do it as well, that left-hander as you're cresting over, and you really have to try and focus to straighten your car there, and it is just the easiest place to lose that rear traction. And
100%.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I think we might have to jump back up towards the front of the field as GTR is approaching that final left-hander to make it 2 wins in a row for the Sector 1 team. And he's done it pretty comfortably, 4.5 seconds. He's used those medium tyres beautifully. Congratulations, GTR. Goat's going to bring it home in 3rd place. Seekers is looking to hold on for that 3rd place. Apologies, 2nd, yes. Seekers coming in for 3rd. Woody and John hanging out together for 4th and 5th. They were pretty close together at the start. They finished that way. Adam has... he might lose a spot to Geesh here, actually, as they come onto the start-finish straight. A little bit of a... Yeah, a little bit of an inter-team battle. Geesh, then Adam. Flossie looking to hold 8th. A little wide as he comes through the corner. Curry's got a great run, but it's not going to be enough. Flossie's going to hold 8th. Curry is going to come across the line in 9th. Nico now on the start-finish straight is going to bring home 10th.
Yeah, so very unlucky for the Trailblazer boys. They tried to go for that fast strategy, but unfortunately they got caught. They caught themselves up on lap 4, really just trying to battle it out with Geesh and a few other drivers. And yeah, they're finishing down 10th, 11th, and 12th. So very unlucky for them. But for GDR, a great result, running on those soft tyres at the beginning, keeping his own, holding that car on the straight line, and then getting onto those mediums. Yeah, and even on those medium tyres, that was incredible pace that he had. It was, he actually extended the gap on Goat at the end of it. Maybe Goat was just settling in for P3.
I think
P2.
5 laps on those soft tyres took its toll on Goat's pace towards the end there. Yeah.
Yeah, so very good driving there by GDR. Great driving by all the drivers, and you can definitely tell these RS5 DTM cars, they are a handful for everyone here tonight. We saw a few incidents, but it brings some great racing, and different styles of racing, different strategies. And as being a little bit biased for my boys in Trackstars, they've done a fantastic job no matter what, and almost brought home a podium. So we can't wait for race 4 coming up very shortly.
Absolutely, and just to run it back for the audience at home, that was GTR from Goat and Seckers rounding out the podium, and we will run through the final one of the night, final ad break of the night, and be back with you all for race 4, which should be an absolute excitement machine.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady.
I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old-fashioned.
What I am not
is the same. But none of us are.
We are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
dog walking,
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
let's champion the things that set us apart.
Because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
Might have enough, but Apex is pulling him in quickly. Oh, it's bloody close. Oh, it's only dead heat. I think we've got a dead heat.
It's going to work out for Wheelie again.
Yes, both.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that Corvette is fine.
Look at how many cars are trying to go through here. They're 3 wide coming through. Squiddy's got fed out into the wall. They're 2 wide coming up through the cutting.
Oh, he's making a move on Viking Racer now into the dipper and does it. He's caught around the outside into the dipper. What a move.
Oh, he runs a little bit wide. He's on the grass.
Keep it clean. Come on, Oil, bring it home.
Showman's got the run.
Stand finish. Who's going to get it? Showman's got it. Oh, he's just taken out the win on the
left side down the hill. Captain's got his nose in front just barely. Oh, he has full trust in him. They're still side by side. Captain takes the position around the outside down the hill.
Around the outside.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have 3 wide. Adam's going wide. Adam's going deep under the brakes under Rexy. Gets the pass done. Goes Adam from
4th to 1st.
What a move.
guys are knocking heads with each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
Incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy with Puncture on the way in. He tries to reach this and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shoves it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh. What a move from GTR.
The red lights are beginning to come on. I get up, and they're off. And nothing gets me down. You got it tough. I've seen the toughest around. And I know, baby, just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real. Can't you see me?
the checkered flag.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady. I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old-fashioned.
What I am not
is the same. But none of us are.
We are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
dog walking,
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
let's champion the things that set us apart.
Because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
I'm a gamer.
Welcome back, everyone, as we are now here to start the final race of the night. I've kicked Spud and his bad internet out of the box, and I'm now joined by Karen Unleashed, representing Sector 1. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I might just say, little bit nervous. I got kicked out of the Sector 1 stands, unfortunately, because we were sitting there enjoying the racing, and holy smokes, what a night it's been. Some incredible driving. There was a couple of big saves. Flossie's one's going to stick with me for quite a while, but yeah, looking very much forward to our final race here. It's going to be an absolute war of attrition. Looking very much forward to it.
Absolutely. And just a quick mention in the stewards column there. 2 incidents reported from the previous race. The Geesh one was given as a racing incident due to the circumstances of how it all came about. And we had that one of Seckers and Diswood mentioned from Spud was also found to be a racing incident. So no penalty points still on the night. And I believe you have the updated racing leaderboard for us there, Kat.
We absolutely do. On screen now we have Peely Goat in first place with a total of 32 points, and incredibly close behind is TX3 GDR with a total of 31. Rounding out the podium is Geesh with 29, as equal with Seckers on 29 as well. So equal third, equal fourth, whichever way you want to look at it. And then we run further down the list. Adam in, fifth place for 25 points. John, 27 TCT, 22 points. Diswood 19, Flossie 17, Curry 10, Nico 7, Colin 7. So really tight battles going on regardless of where you're at. And then Smashing Apex currently last on 6, but also vying for basically 10th through to 12th. So really close battles there, and the top end of town could be split by any one of the top 4 at this point in time, given the final race standings.
Absolutely, and quite heavily contested there at the top, which is exciting. You know, it's not a blowout either way, and the team standings are being hidden from the viewers at home and will be revealed after the conclusion of this race. So, should be quite the interesting one. And also, we have our first multi-make of the night. We've moved away from the one makes. We've had 3 of those. They're all incredible. And now we move into the manufacturers that the teams had to draft, and boy, we have some range here. There are definitely some unique picks, I would say.
Yeah, agreed with that completely. All these cars that were chosen, where do we start? They've got some big strengths, big weaknesses on certain parts of this particular track. The Daytona road course, it's famous for the big weekend in February, I believe it is, for the Daytona 24-hour. And, well, where do you start with the teams? Like, the car choices themselves. They thought long about this one, and, well, we'll start off with my boys here at Sector 1. They picked the Genesis X, nearly picked the wrong Genesis. Sorry, guys. they've still given me a bit of stick for that one.
It's probably one of the most well-rounded cars of the pack.
Yeah, agreed completely. It's going to be a bit of an all-rounder, as is the Trackstar selection, the Porsche 911, which is it's been a good package overall here in the past. We've seen it in a couple of the series be involved over here, and especially in endurance events, it's a very, very handy little rig. And then over with the Trailblazers cars, well, they've decided that their vision is to win, and as a result, they've picked the Peugeot Vision Gran Turismo, an absolute blistering car on the straights. And then last but not least, and this is going to be the big one for wheel to wheel, they've picked the Ford GT, the second spec of the old model. Looks absolutely fantastic inside, don't get me wrong. Classy as hell. Although I do believe it was Sekas just struggled to fit inside it.
Yeah, it's definitely nice and aerodynamic, that Ford. Quite low to the ground as we see the cars on a slow roll out of the pits here.
As we get qualifying kicked off, we'll jump across to a quick little visual highlighting what is coming up for race 4.
Yeah, so there you have it. All 3 tyres required here tonight. 25 laps as well in this multi-make, so it should be quite the interesting one. And I have to ask Karen, we're going to get you to give us a little bit of a guide for the lap here. Which of your 3 drivers here were you wanting to jump on board with to give the viewer at home a bit of a lap guide?
Oh boy, where do we
start? They've all come out together too.
Yeah, where do we start? Because in our race here in Division 1, it was a neck-and-neck battle between Distinct Geesh and TX3, and I think it was Distinct Geesh that got the upper end on that one. So we might just cross on board with Geesh for his lap. It's a very, very spectacular track, this as well. It's got a bit of everything. It's got tight little chicanes and dog legs. It's got a couple of big hairpins, of course, the big, fast-flowing straights, which are going to play to the strengths of the big, powerful Peugeots and the Fords. But also the tight, twisty section where the Hyundai and the Porsche will really find their feet. Looking very forward to seeing this mix of very unusual cars indeed.
Yeah, it's not the normal grouping of cars you'd expect to see when doing a bit of online racing. It looks like Geesh is giving way to GTR here as the guys are getting themselves sorted out. I'm expecting to see quite the push. And a bit of, slipstream and bump drafting from these boys, embracing the Murica and the NASCAR of the track here. As they come through.
Awfully wide on the exit of this little dogleg chicane here. It should get away with it, but that is one of the penalty
small
pinch
things
points
here too.
Yeah, penalty pinch points of this track, and it will certainly mess with your standing. So Geesh and GTR looking to work together for quali here.
Yep, and we'll pass it over to yourself, Karen, to talk us through a lap from the eyes of Distinct Geesh.
So we're on board with just Distinct Geesh right now as he enters turn 1. You want to use a little bit of trail braking before you straighten the car up, and then plant the foot on the exit. Make sure you don't get a little bit of the oversteer as you go through the turn 2 dogleg, and then you're coming up to the International Horseshoe. Turn 3. Brake it nice and tight, get the front to grip, and then just open the wheel up a little bit on the exit. Heading up to the dogleg now. Absolutely foot flat to the floor. Want to make sure you got all the grip in the world. You don't want to have understeer here. This track can kill tyres. Pushing up to the West Horseshoe. Turn 5. Take a wide entry in. You can late apex this one if you really need to. Going up to the in and out now. Turn 6. Early on the brakes. Get that front nice and gripped up and then put the foot down early. Heading through NASCAR 1. Onto the outfield now, and this is where the top speed of the Peugeots and the 4GTs will really come in handy. We can see Distinct Geesh and TX3, bit of rivals here in the Sector 1 Championship this season, but working very, very well together. They break into the dogleg, or as I fondly call it, Charlie the Magic School Bus.
GTR looking a little bit wide on the exit there.
Yeah, I think they might have just compromised themselves just on the exit a little bit. We'll see who gets pole here, but this is going to be a very, very close one as Goaty has set a 1:44.4 for the first flying lap.
I think the Sector 1 boys are on to beat that here. The bump drafting, there's 40, no, there goes 44.
No.
It's going to be a 45.4 from GTR putting in a 45.3 and Adam coming through right behind those with a 45.5. It's going to be Goat, Flossie, Seckers, the wheel-to-wheel trio leading everyone off. GTR, Geesh, and Adam, the Sector 1 trio, being the second team there. And to match that, no, it's been broken up. We've got Woody and Curry in 7th and 8th, Colin, Nico, and Apex rounding out 9th, 10th, and 11th, and John, unfortunately, not able to set a time there. Oh no, he set a 2:01, apologies.
Holy jeez. Well, it looks like the big battle's going to be between, well, the straights versus the infield, really, isn't it? Goat just with that 1:44.4, that is a phenomenal time. Very, very handy. He's just improved out of sight over the last couple of years as PLE Goat, of course. And this would, yeah, he's going to have to really lead the charge for the Trackstars crew. We know what Woody's capable of. Very, very quick driver, but yeah, wheel to wheel, 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Yes, and of course, this one going to be up to quite a bit of strategy. We're seeing quite a few guys in the pits here changing their tyres. So, very interested to see if any of the front runners decide to go for those softs again, or if it's going to go for mediums. It's where all the strategy starts and where it can all end if you pick your wrong one.
Yep, agreed. And just keeping tabs on the stream tonight, 71 viewers right now. Fantastic stuff. We've got 38 likes, so if we can hit that magical 50, we're laughing all the way to the piggy bank. So smack that like button, guys, and don't forget to subscribe as well to Wheel to Wheel. Very, very amazing hosts for tonight's GT Super Series, of course. And thanks for having us as well.
Absolutely, it wouldn't be a combined series of all the best leagues in Australia without Sector 1 on board. Obviously one of the biggest, and showing they're one of the most competitive up here as well after taking that podium sweep in race 2 and contending at the front of pretty much all the races for the majority of it. So it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on board here with us.
It's a pleasure being here, and yeah, this is going to be the cat amongst the pigeons this race. It's Daytona. It's capable of absolutely anything. And we've seen Goat's been a bit of a fighting warrior for the wheel-to-wheel crew. He's definitely well and truly in the fight for this driver's title. He's, I believe he's on top, but knowing my maths...
1 point separating himself and GTR, so they are very, very close together there.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Goat has raced in Sector 1 before, and, wow, he is, yeah, he was definitely able to more than hold his own, took some spectacular wins. He's just a phenomenal driver, but you can't rule out anyone from any of these leagues. It's just, yeah, every single one of these guys, quick, slick, and look at the grid, the Genesis looks like a bit of a NASCAR Camaro.
That it does, and I think we should start out of, well, I'm having a bit of blue flag showing, so I've got some kind of problem. But start on board with GTR, the first of the non-Fords, to see how they go. We've got the 5 red lights, and we are off the line now. The Ford GT rocket ships off the line. The Genesis struggling a little bit, but not as bad as the Porsche and the Pug. So 2 distinct groups to start it off, and then the rest of the pack. We'll see how we go coming into turn 1. The wheel-to-wheel guys navigate themselves well. Woody sticking his nose up the inside of GTR and is alongside as we run up to the International Horseshoe. GTR falling back. Can Woody hold that around the outside?
Oh, there's big contact off! That's Adam off!
Massive! That's Curry, that's Wood, that's Adam, all off the track there. So that could be huge in the final standings for the teams here. One of the Sector 1 drivers out, and 2 of the Trackstars guys already out. They're going to have dirty tyres. They're going to drop further off the pack as well. What a chaotic start there.
And the big critical thing is the slipstream itself. This battle pact between wheel to wheel and sector 1, there's a little bit of a gap forming back to John, who's up in P6 at the moment. He's over a second behind. Yeah, you don't want to lose that slipstream, especially because these guys in front, Geesh and GDR versus the wheel to wheel crew, it's going to be on.
It absolutely is. We have Geesh rolling up onto the back of Flossie here. I'm very interested to see if they decide to go for a move yet. And I think I want to have a quick run through, a little tour of the tyres as we come towards the end of lap 1. So, Goat, Seckers, Flossie, the wheel-to-wheel trio, all on the medium tyre. Geesh and GTR have gone for the hards. So they might fall back a little bit come the infield, but that's also where the Genesis is stronger over the Ford. So it could be a massive play for these guys to stick with the slipstream. We move back to John in the Porsche on the mediums. We've got Colin and Nico together on the hard tyre. Apex behind them on the hard tyre. Woody on the mediums. Adam on the hards. And that's Nico and Apex in already. Adam also in already. And Curry on the soft tyres has been left by himself now that he doesn't have his little buddy in Adam to push along.
This is very, very intriguing indeed. So, few of these guys, all the Sector 1 guys have definitely pitted, and it looks like the Trailblazers boys, they're getting off the hards as quick as possible. That's very, very interesting, which means down the track, the other teams are going to have to make that call whether or not they run the hard as long as they can, but they probably don't want to, knowing how much grip is at stake with that tyre. It's quite a significant amount slower.
Now, very interesting for me here is Geesh and GTR. Actually, everyone that has just pitted has come out on that soft tyre. So not only are they getting that hard tyre out of the way nice and early, but they're going on the fastest tyre to try and undercut the guys who decided to start on mediums, which could be massive depending on how long the medium runners decide to wait.
And the big question now is, looks like the wheel-to-wheel boys definitely working together. You can see a lot of bump drafting on the straights as Seckers just taps Scody from behind, and then you got Flossie just right behind them. The curious case here will be if Flossie plays rear gunner or just sticks with them and possibly makes a move up, or it's a hard call to make because these guys, you don't want to hold each other too much at the moment, knowing full well that the crews on the softs are going to be pushing significantly quicker.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, and now that everyone's pitted behind them that were immediately behind, it's going to be really hard for these guys to know what strategies, what tyres they've come out on, if they're still running together, if they're, bump drafting, or if they've completely split up. So very interesting to see what strategy call the leading trio go with.
And it looks like they haven't dropped all the cars yet, the wheel-to-wheel crew, because John's only 2 seconds behind here on the medium as well. Looks very, very comfortable compared to the cars in front. Little bit of rear tyre wear starting to show, though, for John's Porsche, and that's to be expected, of course. The engine at the back for the Porsche, and it'll be putting more weight over the rear, and John does love to slide that car a little bit. Along with Diswood just behind, he's used even more.
There you go, as you mentioned it. Bit of a slide going on right as he comes through there.
Yeah, the critical gap at the moment is between GC12 Curry and Distinct Geesh. 12.5 seconds. They're going to stop in hand. If that gap closes right up, it's going to be on.
That it is.
Just keeping an eye out at the moment at just seeing what everybody's feeling like in terms of the fuel at the moment. It looks like the wheel-to-wheel boys are just going to be using a little bit more fuel than the guys behind. Seckers is definitely worse off on fuel. They go through the bus stop.
Yes, flying through, doing the bump drafting again as well, pushing each other quite comfortably. John has brought down that gap. I believe it was at about 1.1 seconds as they entered the banking. And now you see that just stretching out as the slipstream and the just the power of the Ford GTs there. We've got Flossie lifting off, coasting into turn 1 here as well. Seckers giving go to bump, so they've got it all sorted out as to where they're not too close to each other coming into the corner. Flossie a little deep there with the double slipstream, but pulls it up, and yeah, we see them just running in formation. Having a look back down through the field, the pairing that I'm keeping my eye on, Geesh and GTR, Quite far apart, 0.8 of a second between them as they come through turn 1 here, but they have taken 2 seconds out of Curry in 6th place, so they're pulling out a lot of time. Geesh with the purple lap there, a 45.3 as well, so...
And that's in comparison to Goat's 46.7, so there's the difference there. 1.4 seconds on a soft tyre means that later on, if there is a bit of a battle that brews, the wheel-to-wheel guys will have an advantage in terms of tyres, but how quick do the tyres last is the real question, especially the soft. Curry started on the soft, I do believe, and he's already down to about 55% tread on the right rear tyre. Not looking comfortable at the moment. Geesh is still very, very fast early on, and the tyre looks... Yeah, the tyre looks like it's really holding up well on the Genesis. Pretty even tyre wear at this stage. And just looking a bit further back, it looks like NWR Nico is starting to come under fire from HC Adam. And the Peugeot's just struggling a little bit in that infield.
Yeah, runs away on this banked section though. He's pulled about a 10th already as we come out of turn 2 from the oval. And it just continues to pull away massively, so... Definitely seeing the upside and the downside to some of these choices, and the braking of the Genesis there you can see as well.
The critical thing at the moment, I'm just looking at it now.
Oh, GTR's got a penalty.
Oh no!
In 8th place, he has a 1 second penalty.
So he's cut the bus stop. Has to.
Maybe. I'm not sure if that gives it to you soon enough for GT to register that you got to slow down that lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But just keeping tabs on this rear field battle at the moment. Adam being on a soft, he's definitely marginally quicker than NWR Nico. Nico did a 46.2 last lap, 45.5 for Adam. So that gap between Trailblazers and the Sector 1 boys starting to just close up a little bit. As we move forward now to Diswood and Curry, still driving in tandem at the moment. Woodsy's on the rear medium tyre. Curry's on the soft, but he's starting to really suffer out. Slipstream is keeping him handy there. John just... Yeah,
one thing I need to mention there, is that Curry was the Trackstars driver who did go flying off on lap 1 as well. So the fact that he's made up enough time to catch Diswood at this point as well has showed that soft tyre difference that he has. Because he was in the wall joining Adam there.
Actually,
I think
on
the
critical of lap 1, let's see if I can actually bring that back up and relive it from several laps ago. We can, yes. So first couple of corners as they're making their way through. Diswood, Curry, I don't know what actually unfolds there, but they all just seem to either miss braking markers or it doesn't look like one person's hit another. They've just all done the same thing and gone deep into turn 2. So yeah, look, unfortunate, but that was lap 1 drama.
Yeah, and as we return back to racing, we see Curry has just served that 1 second penalty, so that gap from Geesh to Curry is going to be dropping massively.
Yeah, just looking at the critical gap between Geesh at the moment, who is the first of the people to pit, it is dropping quite significantly as Geesh just goes purple again with a 145 flat. Tyres look absolutely phenomenal, but not only that, the gap since the pit stop between the softs of the Sector 1 boys and the wheel-to-wheel guys, it's down from 22 seconds after the exit of the pits to 16 seconds. Oh, Curry had a big moment.
Another thing to talk about, that critical gap you were mentioning between Geesh and Curry. Curry is also on that soft tyre with Geesh, so this isn't Geesh making up time on a medium tyre runner, it's him making up time on someone who is on the same compounded tyre, which just shows the absolute pace that he has at the minute. And I do need to ask you a question about Geesh, because we speculated about it last race, myself and Spud. Is Geesh on controller or just quite harsh on the tyres?
I'm not actually sure, to be honest. Some say he's on one of those flight attendant sticks that they use for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2008.
I considered that, but personally settled on the Dance Dance Revolution mats, and figure he's just standing there, 1 foot forward, and then has to swap for, turn left, turn right.
I thought
which
that much
makes me wonder how he found the DRS button in that previous race as well. I don't know where he got that from.
I thought that much with Diswood, that he might be on a Dance Dance Revolution map because he has the rear end out more often than not, and we know Woody loves to slide those Porsches.
Yeah, but we also know Woody enjoys a beverage or two, so I don't think he'd be able to stand by race 4 on a Dance Dance Revolution, Matt, there by the rate that he consumes them.
Yep. One's not enough, and 24's still not enough, as they say.
Well,
Curry's spin. Curry's had a spin.
Yes.
Oh, he's backed it off to let... That's great sportsmanship there. He could have just kept it there and let just TX3 GTR go. So Curry's tyre is absolutely cooked at the moment.
Yeah, surely he has to come in soon.
The times for the 4 GTs up the front there are so consistent at the moment. Low to mid 46s. They're looking very comfortable on those medium tyres. In formation, I must say, they look absolutely fantastic as it starts to turn into a little bit darkness, a little bit nighttime coming through here at Daytona Beach.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a beautiful sunset into a wonderful nighttime. Get the lights on for the beautiful banking in the infield. It's going to be an incredible watch as we race into the sunset. And I believe Diswoody is driving on a Logitech controller similar to one that was used elsewhere recently. So that would explain quite a bit about his sliding and driving.
Yeah, I think... like you said a bit earlier, a couple of beverages, he'd be having a very relaxing night. He's a very, very competitive person, though, under the helmet. Does not like to lose, does Woody, and especially John, who's in P4 at the moment. His pace actually is starting to pick up compared to the Fords in front. He did a 45.9 last lap in clear air.
Sorry, something's happened here. Adam is back in 12th. He did a 148.0 on lap 5 there, and is back behind the Trailblazers guys. Not quite sure what's happened. Could have been just a big penalty that he had to serve, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's happened there. Adam's just going to be bashing the dashboard a little bit. It's been a bit of a struggle the last 2 races for the leader of Sector 1's Respawn Esports. He's a very, very quick operator and putting a little bit of pressure onto Smashing Apex at the moment in the Peugeot. The Peugeots look remarkably not too bad on the soft tyre at the moment. They're actually better off in grip and in the front than the Hyundai Genesis is. Yeah,
and just from the YouTube chat, Womble's let you know he doesn't like this race, so... just mentioned from him, and he keeps giving himself driver of the day, so I thought he deserved the mention being driver of the day, you know?
Yeah, that's a little running joke within our league as well. Well, we won't say joke. We've actually renamed our driver of the day award the Womble. So basically our driver of the day is a guy who's done really, really well. It doesn't have to be a guy that necessarily wins. It could be a fantastic drive from 12th to 2nd, or someone who's just really put their best foot forward. And yeah, from the I think it was from the 2nd season onwards, Womble joined and gave himself driver of the day every single race, and since then it's stuck. So that's a little bit of Sector 1 trivia for you. But looks like the tyre degradation's starting to drop a little bit for a lot of these runners at the moment as the temperatures here at Daytona start to drop. Be very interesting to see how these soft runners at the moment cope with this change of temperature. They'll get a little bit more tyre life out of the cars, but that's only going to play into the hands of wheel to wheel when they get on the soft tyre later on.
Yeah, and it seems to most of the field has separated, but down in 12th, Smashing Apex has actually just let Adam by and is currently pushing him. So a little bit of teamwork from the Peugeot there, and I definitely think as we come into night, we need to keep an eye on those Peugeots coming into turn 1. Not because they're doing anything crazy racing-wise, but because they blow massive flames out pretty much the right behind the windows in the middle of the car. So, something I didn't realise, but yes, looks incredible seeing those wonderful blue flames under braking start flying out of the car under some downshifts.
Yeah, there's a couple of cars that we definitely were very fond of with shots in the past, and Subaru BRZ was definitely one of those. Absolutely easy to get flames out of those, and they do look phenomenal. So we watch the wheel-to-wheel guys here still in formation as they go through Charlie, the Magic School Bus.
They're going quicker too. They're mid 45s now as the fuel starts to drop out of the cars. 45.4 last time around for Seckers and Flossie, and a 45.5 for Goat. So that pace is increasing, whereas we compare to Geesh, who has done a 44.9 on lap 7 and followed it up with a 45.2. And GTR has got another 1 second penalty just behind Geesh in 7th place there, so having a bit of a rough time trying to follow up that victory from the previous race.
That gap between Geesh and Goat now is still dropping. It's 13.3 seconds now. 45.0 for Geesh last lap, a 46.2 for PLE Goat. So seems like it's about a second difference between the worn softs and the mediums. The mediums are starting to definitely suffer for the Fords on the right rear tyre. Very, very sad indeed.
Speaking of right rear tyres, the man who has none would be Curry, has just jumped into the pits there. Nothing at all left on the rear right of that Porsche.
Just keeping tabs on a little bit further back in the field at the moment. Adams made his way to P10, of course, with that pit stop. But the NWR Nico did a 45.9 last lap. The Peugeot just starting to, is it starting to warm up just maybe that little bit? The gap between Colin and TX3's also started to drop because of that penalty. NWR Nico's gone! Oh, he nearly collected Adam!
Oh, he's right on the racing line. So glad that he ghosted there, otherwise he was getting collected by Apex there.
Oh, that was so close to being another just accidental bit of contact there for Adam. But NWR Nico just caught the grass on the exit of the hairpin there, and just really, really struggled just to save it. He did a great job, not going to lie. Just kicked back on him and yeah, just unable to get it through. But Adams now closed up 2 seconds to Colin once he's gone past there.
And now that we don't have that critical gap from Geesh to Colin, we do have the critical gap of Geesh to Diswood, and it is down to 1.5 seconds. So he has almost made up that entire extra pit stop on Diswood. Has Geesh is absolutely flying. Still in those extremely consistent. From lap 3 through to lap 10, his worst lap that I can see here has been a 45.3, and his best has been a 44.9. Everything has ranged in that 0.4 of a second. So if you want a picture of consistency, that is it.
Might have to keep tabs on Flossie at the moment, though. He's definitely dropped right off the back of Seckers, and is starting to become under threat from John, who's dropped that gap considerably. Flossie just seems to be struggling on tyre wear, whereas John, he's got even worse tyre wear in the rears, but he's able to manage it. Porsche just holding off well.
Yeah, I think that's more Flossie making a mistake there. He's down 3 seconds on his best time. So something's happened to him, possibly turn 1 there, if I had to hazard a guess. Because he was, just recently with him, and 3 seconds off the best is definitely taken an impact there on him.
Yep, so looking at that gap though, it's because of the sheer straight line speed of the Ford, up to 1.3. And there you go, John's got a 2 second penalty.
There you go, you've well and truly put the commentator's curse on him there. The gap was dropping and he's in contention and he's gone.
And it might be buy one, get one free here, because Diswood has got Geesh all over the rear end.
That he does. Does the Genesis have the speed pulling out? He's on the high line now of the banking coming down. He does have the extra overspeed, and John in the pits, Woody in the pits. There we go. So perfect timing really for Geesh. He got the toe down the banking there, and then didn't even have to contest into turn 1. Off went the cars he was overtaking into the pits. And now we really see that true gap. 8.2 seconds to Flossie, 11.6 to the lead.
He's cut that gap well and truly in half, but the wheel-to-wheel drivers have still got to use that soft tyre. Looks like the Genesis just holding that right rear tyre very, very well. It's definitely the critical tyre out of all 4 cars. You saw Geesh pit on the end of lap 1, I believe it was.
Yes, all of the Sector 1 boys were in at the end of lap 1 off of the hard tyres, so they just have the mediums to go.
As were the Trailblazers boys as well. They went into the soft very, very early on. The hard tyre, of course, just absolutely not competitive in terms of race pace. It'll last pretty much the whole race, but you don't want to be losing time out at a track like Daytona, especially when you consider the fact that the straights are an omnipotent thing, especially regardless that you don't need to worry about the tyre on a straight.
Yes, it's definitely a tricky one and can make the car quite unbalanced with that rear right wearing out. You know, you get on the power and kind of one side spins a little faster than the other and points you in the wrong direction, and away you go. We've seen how easy it can happen with Colin a couple of times, so definitely the one to take care of, but it's quite tricky to take care of when you're leaning on it so much.
I expect the wheel-to-wheel boys to be in within the next lap. All three of them are showing empty on the fuel tanks.
Jishin as well, showing quite empty on the fuel tank. GTR has gone around again though, so deciding to go one further. I'm very interested to see how much fuel Jish adds for this one. Add him in with 13% as well.
GTR just set his personal best of the race just on that lap alone, with a 1:45.3, so that's intriguing as far. Just keeping tabs on Flossie, who's just started to close up again a little bit on the wheel-to-wheel camaraderies in the front. Goes very wide though.
Dropping back off of Goat there too. He's almost out of that 1 second gap. We could see the strategy of these boys fall apart here if they are unable to slipstream. Seckers with a moment there coming onto the banking and another one. So there goes half a second to Goat, and Flossie now closing that gap, as you said.
So Jish has just come out on the medium at the moment. Yeah, there's your true...
Just behind Nico.
Yeah, that's going to be critical. Nico holds him up too much. The gap was cut in half over that last stint as Jish is all over the rear end of NWR Nico 71.
Yeah, Nico could definitely put a spanner in the works here for Jish, but Jish has the opportunity to make the move on the infield. Those Peugeots are just so quick on the straights that the Genesis can't get the move done there, though.
You also want to be careful. You want to be careful.
Nico's getting loose again. It was almost deja vu there. Who was it with Adam that he had that moment with earlier? And there goes G-Shon by. Goat in the pits from the lead, followed by Seckers and Flossie as well. So the wheel-to-wheel trio making their first stop. GTR will be coming in as well.
Now, the critical bit is they're still yet to run a hard compound tyre. So they will need to make one more stop.
But do you do that stop now? Do you do your one lap now, or do you do the final lap on hards and then coming into turn one is not a concern at all? You just go for it and get that little bit of a pit exit that's auto drive that you don't have to worry about as much.
Yeah, that's really, really tricky. You don't want to leave yourself in vulnerability, especially if you go off and knowing full well you're going to put the hard compound tyre back on. You'll be at a major deficit. Just watching
John coming into turn one now.
So Goat's gone on the hard tyre.
From the pits. There you go. Seckers as well, and I'm expecting Flossie to do the same. Is he going to emerge in front of John? Yes, he is. John just behind now. So John and Diswood has actually made up a bit of time on John. I think he was about 4.5 seconds to the rear. It was that 2-second penalty. Apologies. And there we have GTR about 6 seconds to the rear of Jish. So I don't want to put any type of curse on anyone, but I think Jish is the sole hope for for Sector 1 to challenge that wheel-to-wheel podium at the minute.
Yeah, I think if the fat lady hasn't started singing yet, she might be humming a few bars, but getting those vocal cords ready. Jish did a fantastic job in that first stint, but yeah, with those wheel-to-wheel boys bearing down on soft tyres eventually.
Yes, and I'm assuming that'll be at the end of this lap, just a one-lap dash, and you see the separation that pit stop has caused. 3.5 seconds from Goat to Seckers, and 2 seconds from Seckers to Flossie. So I think bump drafting for that extended period of time early on was the call, because the pit stop made all the difference.
The critical bit at the moment is Goat's actually put less fuel in than the other two wheel-to-wheel drivers, Seckers and Flossie. Flossie's actually a tiny bit less than Seckers, and Goat's less than the both of them. Is Goat going to pit though?
Looks like it.
Yeah, he's in.
There we go, the trio come on in, and John 27, Flossie stays out, never mind, he's thrown me for a loop. I was about to say John takes the lead, Flossie stays out. Maybe just to lead a lap and get the screenshot now, Mum. I led the All-Stars race, but...
It's critical now that Goat and Seckers don't fall behind John and Diswood here on the pit exit. That's absolutely critical. Because if John and Diswood come out in front of... Or if they're in front and Goat has to fight them, that'll just play into the strengths of Geesh.
You know what? Flossie is holding up John here on the infield, and the Porsche, I don't think, is going to have the pace to get by him on the straights. So he's on that hard tyre. Oh, John having a long dive up the inside. A little bit of contact made on the door. Oh, John's barely left him room there. Opened the door for Woody. Flossie's giving him a flash of the headlights. Not happy. And keeps the nose in, but unable to continue with that move there on Diswood. And gets a little bit loose on corner exit as well.
So, just looking at what's happened after the pits, Goats actually came out behind TX3 GDR here, so that's critical.
It is, but how much can that Genesis defend on these long banked areas for the with the pace of that Ford is going to be the big thing. We saw the Genesis wasn't able to get around the Peugeot on the straights. It's definitely going to be a tricky one.
Not only that, though, it seems like the wheel-to-wheel boys just got a little bit more of a problem. There's a bit of a spanner in the works. Not only are they behind TX3 GDR and Distinct Geesh, Seckers is under fire from HC Adam.
And he's right up behind him under that braking zone there now.
This is huge.
Adam, yeah, that could be quite the spanner in the works. Flossie now in the pits.
And not only that, Adam's got nothing really to lose at this point. The infield is where the Genesis will shine, and the Ford is going to be quick on a straight as Adam just pulls out.
And immediately starts losing. Immediately starts losing distance as that Ford is in high gear. He could make the move here though, and he does go for it. Oh, he's hit the rear quarter of Seckers and sent him wide.
Oh, Seckers ain't going to be happy about that one.
No,
yep,
flash of the headlights there. We're seeing the similarities between Flossie and Seckers there. Flossie on the exit of the pits now as well, so he is going to come out ahead of Colin and just behind Seckers after doing that extra lap on the hards.
Yep, that's huge. That might be looked at by the stewards. There might be some pens clicking.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And then up the front we have John and Diswood, first and second, running their personal best currently, both of them, and 6 seconds the gap back to Geesh.
Yep, the gap that's dropping just dramatically at the moment is the gap between TX3 GDR and PLE Goat, though. It's down to 1.4 seconds. GDR on the medium tyre, so this is going to be the long-term pain that the medium runners will go through now. As Goat on the soft, he's going to be absolutely chomping at the bit to get past this Genesis.
Yeah, the Genesis definitely not looking as strong on the straights, but it has it under braking. I'm just keeping an eye on Adam and Seckers here as they come into the bus stop, and Seckers pulled in about 0.3 of a second, and that's with Adam moving to the inside of the track to break the toe. So Seckers wasn't even using the slipstream, but still pulled in about 0.3 of a second on him, and you see that time falling as they come through the banking here as well. It's just whether Seckers can get past and get any kind of gap, any kind of separation through the midfield, or if the Ford on soft tyres, he doesn't go for the move, gives Adam another flash of the headlights, so trying to communicate something to him.
Yep, it's either... it's either
a big moment for Adam there.
Yeah, it's either Seckers is an angry little hot pocket at the moment after that move, which is understandable, as he goes to the inside, tries to make the move up the international horseshoe.
Does he have the acceleration in the Ford?
That soft tyre gripping very nicely. Adam, of course, on the medium. Side by side through the dog leg. Seckers might just try and switch it up. Adam very defensive at the moment, but looks like Seckers is just going to set it up for a switchback.
I think Seckers is just looking to keep that gap as small as possible coming onto the banking to see if he can make something happen.
And
see
only
how
just
it goes under power here.
Only just a bit up as well. TX3 GDR is also under fire from PLE Goat, so wheel to wheel are here to play.
I think we jump on board with Goat here as he's reeling in that Genesis, absolutely flying along. He pulls out, and the move is done before they even get to the braking zone.
Oh, just not much GDR can do.
Seconds the same.
Just the might of the Ford in a straight is just too much.
Yeah, it's looking like same situation for Seckers and Adam. Adam even getting a better exit out of the bus stop there, and we see the gap dropping, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make anything of it. We could see a move into turn 1 again between these two.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very tight. Just two big battles here between Wheel to Wheel and Sector 1 at the moment. It's very, very hard to keep an eye on which one to look at. And
well, the big thing to keep in mind is 3rd through to 8th have done all of their pit stops. I'm not sure about the Peugeots. I could be wrong on those, but Geesh, 7.5 seconds clear a Goat on that medium tyre. So
yeah.
That's the difference. That's going to be the lead once we see Woody and John pit, I believe. So
yep.
Goat looks like he might be clear of TX3 now. It's 0.9 of a second, and I'm sure we'll see that extend once we come onto the banking. Seckers still with Adam to deal with, though. And interestingly enough, Seckers, he looks to have... Oh, Adam, massive slide. He's held it. Well done there. But Seckers looks to have about... Oh, if I had to guess, I'd say about 8 litres more fuel than Adam.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. First and foremost, though, Adam, though, car control. Holy jeez. It seems like the Genesis can just... delay some of that gap in the midfield, but just as soon as they get onto the outfield, it's just gone. The Ford is just an absolute bullet on the straights at this point of the race, and the gap between Goat and Geesh now, 6.8 seconds. It is starting to drop a little bit. Distinct Geesh did a 45.8 last lap. He's about to cross the line now. Goat did a 45 flat, nearly took the fastest lap of the race. It's starting to really heat up, isn't it? There's nothing in this one between Goat and Geesh.
45.8 again from Geesh.
Oh, there's a yellow flag. Oh, Woody's gone around.
And Goat has just taken that fastest lap, a 44.7
wow.
from the Goat. Really living up to his name. And I just want to bring up Adam again before we get too far away from him. After that slide, his worries aren't over. He has Flossie just a second back now. The third of the wheel-to-wheel trio now running up behind that Genesis as well.
Yep, looks like, yeah, wheel to wheel. It definitely probably got one hand on that trophy at the moment, but in terms of the drivers, it's on between Goat and Geesh, because I believe if Goat finishes behind, Geesh and Goat will be equal on points. I think that's the case. I think
not quite sure. I believe GTR... So Goat was leading, and I think GTR was second. And then Geesh and someone else were tied. But that's for the, that's for the boffins in the back to figure out. We've still got 6 laps of action to be calling here, and that gap is dropping fast between those two.
Well, if you say that...
Flossie's on Adam as well, apologies.
You say that now, but there is a bit of a trump card to help out Geesh at this point, and it is in the form of Diswood. Being that car in the middle, with Goat closing up, and technically Goat has to fight for that position. If they're in the infield, that could really sort of... Oh, it's Adam through the... I've forgotten all the corners already. There's just too much excitement going on. Yeah, there's way too much going on at the moment.
Yeah,
the bottom...
he's lost that spot to Flossie there.
Yeah, something's happened with Seckers as well. Look at the gap between Seckers and TS3. Oh wait, no, something definitely has happened though, because Seckers and it was Seckers and Adam that were very close. So yeah, something.
No, that's right. No,
am I right?
Seckers recently got past Adam.
Ah, there we go.
And then Flossie also got by him. So
well,
Adam unfortunately unable to hold off the wheel-to-wheel guys, but he put up a good fight, and I think he held up Seckers for enough. That 5-second gap to GTR's. It's going to be tight, but I don't think the duo of Seckers and Flossie are going to be able to make it up to Geesh.
Well, speaking of Flossie, he just got the fastest lap of the race.
Goat's off!
Oh! Goaty!
He's done well. Oh. He's done well to hold that. He's got dirty tyres now.
That is like
if you have
ice
a replay
out there.
of that one there, Cap, that was... I don't know how he's held that.
That was scary. just through the dog leg. So, he's still just clipped the wall on the exit onto NASCAR 1 as well. So that Ford is really not having the best run at the moment.
Yeah, so it looks like Goat got up on the inside curb through the dogleg and it unsettled the Ford and threw him out onto the grass. And that's another probably about 2 seconds in the back pocket of Jeesh now to work with. So we could still see Jeesh come through for that win now.
Oh, this is just tied at the moment. The gap between John and Jeesh has dropped down now to 4.7. John's still got to make that stop.
As does Woody. So currently after pit stops, it'll be Jeesh, Goat, and GTR, your podium.
Well, what that little mistake from Goat has done has actually just helped him out in terms of not being stuck behind Diswood and losing time that way as well. So he's going to have a clean run, which means he'll be able to look after those front tyres and not be in the dirty air for as long, which will actually really benefit towards the last 2 laps of the race. But it just all depends now on the fuel side of things as well. And looking through at the moment, the distinct Jeesh is doing pretty good on fuel. Woody is just probably 2 laps away from pitting. He's really struggling on the fuel side of things. John is actually better than both of them. And,
yeah, it's looking like John might have actually fueled up for the end of the race, whereas Woody's fueled up to get to his next stop.
Yep, and in terms of fuel between Jeesh and Goat, there's absolutely nothing between them. GDR is actually better on fuel than both. And he's going to be coming under threat a little bit by Flossie and Sekis if they start to play the blunt draft game, which was very successful to start off with early on in the race. Adams just dropped back as well. He's now 1.9. It's going to go under 2 seconds. So the Fords are really starting to flex the muscle.
Yeah, the soft tyre and the pace on the straights is too much for that Genesis to be able to hold up with them. And now they're able to do that bump drafting. As you said, I just realised Flossie took that fastest lap. 44.5 and Sekers with a 45.4. So now that they're matched up, that gap to GTR is definitely under a bit of threat.
That gap between
4 seconds now.
That gap between Jeesh and PLE Go extended by 0.7 of a second with that mistake.
It would have been a bit more than that. He lost 2.2 seconds on that lap that he went off.
That's the famous map. Famous maths here we do in Sector 1.
So Goat ran a 44.7, a 44.8, and then a 46.6, and then followed it up with a 45.1. So at least 1.5 to 2 seconds loss there. Yeah,
he's doing a great job though as Goat. He's been an absolute.
And now we see what the true gap is. That 5.3 as he comes out of the International Horseshoe.
Yep. I think it's going to be a bit of a tall order at this point in the race to catch Jeesh. The tyre especially is really starting to hurt on that Ford GT. It's been a bit of a big night, to be honest, for Wheel to Wheel. They've done a fantastic job, and the team harmony just looks absolutely wonderful in terms of the on-track. They've worked very, very hard, spearheaded by, I believe, the Division 1 champion in GOAT. Am I right in saying
so the Division 1 champion in GOAT, Flossie, I believe he was Season 3 about 3 seasons ago, but now Div 1. He came into Div 1 at the mid-season break of the current season, and Sekers only started sim racing, I believe, just before GT7 released, so he was with us for 1 season at GT Sport, completely new to sim racing, and he has put us all to shame, honestly. He's risen up the ranks so incredibly quickly.
And you know what's even scarier? He can improve even further as John's pitting from the lead.
Don't say that. I don't need that.
John's pitted, so that'll drop him back, so he's going to be on the hard tyre. That rear soft is absolutely down to the canvas on those Michelin Pilot Sports.
And it is, so he's going to have to circulate for 3 laps on the hard tyre in that Porky. And just keeping an eye on the gap, so Goat's pulled in a second on Jeesh. I don't think it's going to be enough to catch him, so Jeesh is looking pretty sure for the win minus a mistake. 2.6 seconds the gap between Flossie and GTR, though, is the one I'm keeping a close eye on.
Yeah, the big thing about that though is the right rear tyre dramas that we've just seen John have, of course. Just looking down the pit lane, inspecting that tyre, is well and truly down to the canvas. But yeah, Flossie's starting to creep up, bringing Seckers with him, so it might not be over for TX3 just yet, especially in the outfield. But tyres on those mediums definitely looking better, and it will come to him just a little bit more as each lap goes on. Adam might be under heavy fire here from John, who's pitted, but John's on a brand new hard tyre. So the Porsches have had to pit a little bit earlier, just to not only put the hard tyre on, but in terms of fuel.
Yeah, and I think that's why Flossie circulated that extra time on the hard tyre as well. You can see, comparing himself and Seckers, the tyre difference it's quite obvious there. And it's probably the reason why he's leading Seckers around. Oh, as he has a big moment on the exit there. 2 laps to go, 1.7 seconds that gap up to GTR. So it's definitely getting close, and the pace all around throughout these top 6 right now is incredible. So Geesh has just done a 45.9 on the mediums. Goat has done a 44.9 and then backed it up with a 45.2. TX3 GTR 2 laps ago, 46.2. Flossie recently with the purple lap, but he did a 45.3 last lap. Seckers with a 45.6. Struggling a little on tyres as Seckers, but still has great pace.
It's on for third. It's on for third. The gap is well and truly closed up now. It's half a second. Flossie is right on the back of TX3 GTR.
You see that Ford getting loose under the traction zones, though, as you said earlier. That right rear tyre really playing a part now. And we'll see if they can get enough grip, especially on the left-hander leading up onto the banking, as it's quite bumpy and can unsettle the car a lot here.
Yeah, and you don't want to take too much speed as well. You don't want to plant the foot too early. It really can bite going through the in and out. And TX3 GTR right now is at the absolute mercy of 2 very hungry Ford GTs. They're going to be absolutely quick on the straight. We saw Goat before did an overtake, and he made it look absolutely easy on TX3 GTR down the back straight.
Yeah, look at that time falling away. It was 0.5, now 0.4, now 0.3, down into 0.2. He's not going to be able to make the move as they come into the horseshoe, but it's definitely on as they come through into turn 1 here.
Oh, feathering the throttle. Flossie's just gone, oh, little bit wide.
Very close. He's playing a dangerous game. Seckers has had some dramas behind him, has had a moment through there and has fallen quite a ways back. No penalty for Flossie, and it is on coming into turn 1 here.
This is shades of round 2 Division 1. Sector 1 is the battle between TX3 GTR and Geesh. Now, Flossie's just got too much wood on him down the straights. But that Genesis is going to be brutal in the infield.
He's going to be wearing that Ford GT as a hat. He's going to be that close to it. As we come now into the International Horseshoe, GTR showing the nose. Flossie's got a bit wide. He made a bite on it.
Oh, TX3 wanted to put the nose up the inside as they go through the dog leg.
Could see him move up the inside here. Where does Flossie put the car? He sticks it in the right spot.
Oh, that was...
I don't know if that was contact or if that was just late on the brakes there.
There was there, though. Oh, geez, they're side by side as they exit the apex. Head up to the in and out. Flossie on the defensive. GTR. What can he do? He's
Around
on the outside.
The pace of that Ford, I think, is going to be too much for him as they come onto the banking here. Could we see a run for the finish? Could we see him get a run out of the horseshoe and take it on the line? We're going to have to wait and see, because we're coming close to the end of the race here. We'll see if he makes a move on the approach to the bus stop here. He's got the nose up the inside, under braking. He's pulled out of it. He's got Flossie offline, though. Flossie slowing the car down. And we'll jump up towards the front now. We'll break away from this just momentarily as we see distinct Geesh coming to take the hard-earned win. Incredibly well-driven there from Geesh. Back to Goat now for second, and we'll move to that battle for third as they come to the line. Here comes GTR. It's under 1/10 of a second. I don't think he's got the pace. He pulls out and he's not got it. Flossie third, GTR fourth. Seckers is going to come home in fifth. Adam is going to bring it home in 6th, I hope. He's not going all that fast at the minute. 6th, John in 7th. Woody is going to come home in 8th. Or is he? Colin? No, I think he's a little too far back. The Porsche.
I don't know.
Here comes Colin.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, Colin's going to take 8th off him on the line. Woody in 9th, Apex 10th, Nico is going to bring home 11th, and it looks like we've had Curry drop out at some point through the night. But what a way to round off an incredible night of racing.
Holy smoke, where do you start with that race? That
usually at the start line.
Yeah, that. I like that joke. I'll pay that. But, oh, God, congratulations goes to Jishan. And Goat, I think, might just take top spot in the driver's points, I believe.
I think he might have the drivers, but, well, the big one is going to be the team standings, because that was some pretty solid results for both of the teams who I believe are winning overall. So we've got it's sector. So the results of this race is sector 1, wheel to wheel, sector 1, wheel to wheel, sector 1.
I'm actually shaking, right? I'm genuinely shaking over this. This is so nervous. What a fantastic night of racing, guys in chat. Seriously, pipe in, say what you want. That racing was absolutely phenomenal tonight, and yeah, congratulations first and foremost to every single one of the drivers from each of the teams tonight for putting their hand up, giving us their time, and putting on an absolutely awesome show. What a spectacular night of racing as well. Oh, where do you begin with all of that?
I think we begin with the driver of the day, and of course that's Womble.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's going in the chat already. HC Lewis has said driver of the day, Womble. Yeah, I'm just blown away by that indeed. I think if you're going to give a driver of the day to all four races, honestly, I'd probably be giving it, as much as I'm biased, I'll say that, but I'm not picking a Sector 1 driver. I'm actually going to give my driver of the day to Goaty. He was just phenomenal tonight, and I'll say an honest opinion, I reckon he's quick enough to actually join the distinct guys as well, because he's just brutally quick.
Yeah, Goat. He's honestly, the fact that he is so young still gets me. I don't even think he's 18 yet.
He's not. He's 17.
So I believe he turns 18 early next month.
Well, so his nickname in the Discord for us, because he still chimes in with the chat every now and again. The second youngest person in Sector 1 is what he's called himself. So
there you go. Yeah, but man, what an event tonight has been as well. And before we go into the final results and everything, I just want to give a massive thank you to Tombo and Adam, who have worked quite a bit behind the scenes to organise this event and, herd all the sheep into the right place, pull everyone, all the guys, the league guys together, to get the input from Sector 1, from Trailblazers, from Trackstars, and coordinate this whole thing has been an incredible effort, and a massive thank you to them.
Yep, agree completely. And also a big thank you, and I think this is a very, very important one as well, to every single person who's tuned in tonight. I think at one stage we had 89 viewers, which is absolutely fantastic stuff. And for 4 leagues to combine and give a product as fantastic as this, yeah, no, it speaks volumes as to the strength of our Gran Turismo community, and yeah, hats off to every single person who tuned in and enjoyed an absolutely fantastic show. The chat was flowing brilliantly tonight, and a lot of banter as well. So yeah, wonderful to see.
Yeah, and it's been confirmed in chat now. So it is Goat's 18th birthday tomorrow. So I just want to give an early happy birthday to Goat. And a congratulations, I guess, as well for his performance tonight.
I can add to that happy birthday for Goat by bringing up the updated point scores for the drivers. Little drum roll on each table sitting at home. As I bring this up, Goat, Peely Goat, happy birthday, and the winner of tonight's 4 races. 43 total points. Across 4 races, he leads TX3 GTR by 3 points. In the end, 40 points total for GTR, and Geesh rounding out the podium for the overall standings with... Oh, wait, that's 41 points. Geesh in second place. The old filtering has let me down there. So Geesh actually taking out second place, GTR taking out third place with 40 points. And the rest of them look mostly in order. Sekers in 4th, Adam in 5th, John 27 in 6th, Diswood in 7th. I've got Diswood and Flossie around the wrong way. Either way, we can see it on screen with total scores. Curry,
it's there,
Nico,
reading yourself,
Cullen,
people.
and Smashing Apex.
Yes, and of course, as we mentioned earlier, it's was mentioned earlier by Rick, I believe, that it is Smashing Apex's birthday as well. So popular time here for the birthdays. And unfortunately, he's not had the best of nights. He had a bit of a rough one, but I hope he enjoyed it nonetheless. So,
yeah, agreed. Just looking at the chat at the moment as well. Womble said, "Well done, all the leagues for this event tonight. Thanks to the comm teams." Lewis Atkinson said, "Motormotion E-Series entry in the next Super Series." Whew. Well, the sky's the limit for this event. You almost make a case down the track for every single league going in at one stage and just throwing the haymakers at each other. Where do you start? But yeah, no. Also, happy birthday to Goat tomorrow. So he'll be absolutely chuffed with that. We'll have to buy him a beer of some sort. I don't know what he drinks, but I think from what I've heard, he drinks only filtered water, filtered and purified.
Well, I think it would only be fitting to send him a Mountain Goat beer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that, but there is a beer brand called Mountain Goat beer. I think that would be the most appropriate thing.
I think I've got it. I've had a couple of them. I know that, and I think I might have the perfect one for him. So we'll send it to him.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
With Womble coming in with the cordial. Baker Boy coming in with minerals. There you go.
What have we started?
Alrighty, so let's get our last 10-minute interval out of the way. We will be back with the Teams Championships, which is the main attraction for tonight. We'll also have some stewards updates. We might see a bit of a shuffle with the individual standings. However, I don't believe Goat has yet to be reported. So we will give a massive thanks to PERMOBIL to be able to present this for you all tonight, and they are the reason that we are able to bring this stream and this race to your eyeballs for tonight. But without further ado, we'll jump across to our 10-minute interval. Don't go anywhere, set your timers, and rock back up here to see who won our inaugural GTSS Super Series.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady. I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old-fashioned.
What I am not
is the same.
But none of us are.
We are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
dog walking,
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
let's champion the things that set us apart.
Because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
Might have enough, but Apex is pulling him in quickly. Oh, it's bloody close. It's got a dead heat. I think we've got a dead heat.
It's going to work out for Oily again.
Yes, both.
Yes.
Oh, that Corvette is fine.
Look at how many cars are trying to go through here. They're 3 wide coming through. Squiddy's got fed out into the wall. They're 2 wide coming up through the cutting.
He's making a move on Viking Racer now into the dipper and does it. He's caught around the outside into the dipper. What a move.
Oh, he runs a little bit wide. He's on the grass.
Keep it clean. Come on, Oil, bring it home.
Showman's got the run.
Stand finish. Who's going to get it? Showman's got it. Oh, he's just taken out the lead on the
left side down the hill. Hampton's got his nose in front just barely. Oh, he has full trust in him. They're still side by side. Captain takes the position around the outside down the hill.
Around the outside.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have 3 wide. Adam's Adam's going wide. Adam's going deep under the brakes under Rexy. Gets the pass done. Goes Adam from
fourth to first.
What a move.
Oh, who's going to concede? Nobody concedes. Bugsy sixes through.
Or getting absolutely nuzzled there. At turn one, that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he's fine. Oh, no. That's massive for Adam.
All over the rear bumper of Spin, mate. These guys are knocking heads with each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
Incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy with puncture on the way in. He tries to reach Messi, gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shots it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
The red lights are beginning to come on. And they're off. If nothing gets me down, you got it tough. I've seen the toughest around. And I know, baby, just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real. Can't you see me standing here? I got my back against the wrecking machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen.
is the checkered flag.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady. I am sporty,
outdoorsy,
outspoken. I am fashion.
I am old-fashioned.
What I am not
is the same.
But none of us are.
We are all individuals with unique interests, needs, and goals.
We believe that everyone should have the right to live the life they want for themselves.
Whether it be exploring the world,
dog walking,
or binge watching their favorite show.
So instead of searching for the things that we do the same,
let's champion the things that set us apart.
Because we're not innovating for disabilities.
We're innovating for individuals.
I'm a gamer,
a foodie,
a boss lady. I am sporty.
And we are back from our final break. The results are in a beautifully done up envelope in the hands of Dodgy. But before we go to that, really quickly, there has been a penalty given to Atom. I believe it was a 2-point penalty for a collision with either Seckers or Flossie. Apologies, I forgot which one it was. And a big thank you to PERMOBIL, but to read out the results of the team standings, we have Dodgy86 here.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dragon. I'd like to start off by saying what an awesome night. I cannot believe I have not moved off my butt off this chair for the last 3 and a bit hours. It was great to see everyone so far. I think has enjoyed it. Edge of your seat stuff. Yes, Adam does get the award for the only penalty of the evening. 1-point penalty for a place loss, 2 seconds, and an extra point for not redressing. There was another incident in that last race between Flossie and John, which was deemed a racing incident. Now, we're going to start with coming in as, first, second, third, runner-up of the evening on 30 points in total for the team is Trailblazers. And a great job by those guys. It was great to have them here. On to second runner-up. At a 62 points for the evening is Track Stars. Good job all around from those fellas too. But the winning team of the season, taking home the bacon, I'm sure the screen is going to erupt with bragging rights, goes to S1 on 111 points. Congratulations, Sector 1. You did a great job, but might I add, you are only 4 points in front of Wheel to Wheel, who finished on 107. So great job all round, fellas.
Absolutely. Big congrats to Sector 1 there. Maybe we need to have a finals showdown, top 6 of S1 and top 6 of Wheel to Wheel to test a bit of depth. But ideas for the future. I did see the head honcho for PERMOBIL appear in the chat just before, and I want to give another big thank you to you for supporting, again, Wheel to Wheel and this incredible event. And a massive congratulations again to Sector 1 for taking it out.
Dragon, before you go, one more thing. Seen as you mentioned it with Arta, that was possibly in there all the way from Sweden on YouTube. He has contacted me today, and just for those out there in Wheel to Wheel land, let us know that they are eagerly awaiting to become our or will continue as our naming sponsor for season 14. So PERMOBIL, back on board again. It's great to be with you, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Absolutely. And as we round out this marathon of a stream, just putting a big blanket thank you out there to all the drivers for showing up, all the guys who have done the stewards, for Dale, Spud, Rick, and yourself there, Karen. I know you're still about, for joining me here in the comms box. and for Lowside for doing the visuals, and really everyone that I've forgotten that has played a part in making this a thing. And I hope we are able to continue to do events like this, because it has been an absolute pleasure to be a part of.